Hello and welcome to Geek Space TV. You are joining us for another episode. See, that's where we're going to cut the highlight. Right, perfect.
Yeah.
For another episode of A Manor of Speaking. Third time's the charm. We are delighted to welcome you all here for another fine evening of manners and magic, because you see, we are playing the third expansion of Good Society, a Jane Austen RPG. Hey, if you happen to like this, guess what? I believe, my finest friends, you can support the printed version of this here expansion over on Storybrewers Kickstarter. And they also have two more exciting expansions included in that book that you will also be able to get access to. And I think it's something to do with the servants, which, you know, I guess the servants have lives, and also something to do with political machinations. I think it's based off of Emma. I don't know Emma as much as well.
They're making it long form.
Oh.
They're making it to better
play for longer time.
For longer times. Yeah.
Excellent.
Words. They're difficult.
Words, yes. So, if you haven't yet, go check out the Storybrewers Kickstarters. It's been funded, but you can acquire them yourselves if you would like this or any of the other expansions in printed form. So go take a look at that, and hopefully someone will be able to pop that link over in chat. But we are playing the third expansion, which is the magical version. So basically imagine Jane Austen, but
unicorns?
with unicorns.
Yeah.
And fairies, and griffins, and magical spells and witches' associations. It's quite great. It's lovely. I'm very excited. Last week was the first episode, but don't worry, you'll catch up right away with all of the various things that we're up to in this world. We're also Geek Space TV, if you happen to be new here. We're a non-profit broadcasting studio, so you're welcome to support us through direct donations. I will read out any of those that come through at the break. I have it working this time, as well as, again, at the end of the show. And that's pretty, those are our announcements. So, with that, let's go ahead and introduce our lovely characters and our players and their various pronouns. You may also want to introduce who your main character is and the supporting character that you're playing, so that we can distinguish between the two of them. And then with that, we'll jump right back into the next cycle. So let's start over here. On one is, oh no, you're hard candy.
No,
over here.
The hard candy's still going to be there in a minute.
Oh. All right, then go for it.
Hello, I am Anna Geeks, full-time variety broadcaster, and I bake a lot. You can find me at Anna Geeks just about everywhere except Instagram, where I'm Anna Geeks AFK. Tonight I am playing Faye Green. I was like, shoot, what is her last name?
Wearing
it's a pun.
it.
And I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. I'm playing Faye Green, and we're both she and her. And my side character we probably won't see tonight, as I break a tooth on the hard candy I have in my mouth. Ow. We probably won't see tonight because, unfortunately, my older sister isn't here tonight.
That's true. Don't worry. I think she might be sending a letter in.
I know.
What do we have here?
Hello, my name is Cheryl Platts. I am also known on the internet as Muppet Aphrodite on Twitter and Twitch and Instagram, etc., etc. And tonight, my character are both she, her, and my character is Miss Persephone Finch, a tutor for the Allerton Pickering family. Particularly this fine gentleman you will meet in a moment. And my secondary character is one Miss Letitia Elfwin of Wessex, who is very mysterious and is his girlfriend.
Ooh. Show me this shirt.
So good.
It's a little, she said it was her favorite kind of style.
Who are you?
Outdated. Ruffles. Hello, my name is Genki Soda, also known as Aria. You can find me on Twitter at Genki Soda, where I rant about things. This week it was a lot of Game of Thrones feelings, mostly my undying love. But I know that's controversial, so please don't hate me. And it's okay if you do. On this show, I am playing Alexander Abednego Allerton Pickering. Not Mr. Allerton Pickering, that's my dad's name. And wait, that's also my name, so that's fine. I am the lovable idiot jock type from this era, but I'm really kind and I want to do right by people. My personal pronouns are whatever you fancy, and my character's pronouns are he, him.
Excellent. And I am Random Tuesday. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Random Tuesday. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be filling in many of the other characters in this world. I have lots of pieces of paper, which is mostly just character names and various descriptions about them. But I do also have a main character who I think we're going to meet this episode. Their name is Jean Dubois, and they are from France. And we shall learn about them in due time. So, with that, let us jump back into the world of Heatherford-on-Sea. Heatherford is a small seaside, large, actually, we should say seaside town in the kind of southeast of the United Kingdom, full of mystics and magic and all sorts of things, and two notable organizations, the local Witches Association and the College of Wizards, or Wizarding College, College of Wizardry. It refers, all of these things are acceptable ways to refer to this location. This is the main branch. I believe they have a side branch in Excelsior.
Excelsior.
The alternative school.
Obtained my master's there.
Yep. Where you studied, where Persephone studied. But this is the main campus of the College of Wizardry. And that is what this town is known for. In fact, the college was established because of powerful ley lines here, and then over time, the town sort of built up around it. And there is the notable and important family, the Allerton Pickerings. And the Allerton Pickerings are currently headed by none other than the Dowager Lady Felicity herself, who is also the head of the local Witches Association. Now, the local Witches Association has been on a bit of a downturn, or so the rumors say. All of its members are of the very old age of above 30, and their numbers seem to be dwindling. And this is particularly alarming because it was revealed last episode that they are going to be facing an inspection from the Inquisitor General, recently appointed Amelia Periwinkle. So this obviously got everybody up in a bit of a tiff, including Lady Felicity herself, and Lady Felicity, as a result of this undue stress upon her countenance, her countenance is suffering from a severe case of the ill.
Something.
I believe it. What would be the name? No, I was like, not consumption. That is a severe case of dowager. No.
Maybe it's literal cotton mouth. She has cotton balls just coming out of her mouth.
Just little cotton balls just coughing them up. Yes. A literal case of cotton mouth. That is a unfortunate disease that strikes the elderly in particular. Mm-hmm. Especially those above the age of 37. Yes. So she is at home, able to keep up with the news, of course, and the goings-on in this town, but unable to leave her room, attended only by her servants, and even her son and her sister, her older sister, are not invited in. She dare not cough up a cotton ball in their face. It would be most unbecoming. Cottonmouth fever. So she is holed up in the darkness of her room, drinking her herbal remedies and trying best to rest herself before the festivities that are going to be happening soon. In a mere fortnight, I think, was what was decided. The local Witches Association is holding a gathering, which all of you, I don't think Alexander was technically invited to it, but I think he invited himself.
And me by proxy.
And Letitia by proxy.
I mean, everyone was going, and I know when you see a line, you're supposed to line up, and I followed. Right?
Word was there were quite a few ladies attending, and that always recommends it well.
Yeah. So sometimes you just end up at the local Witches Association meetings, just sort of standing there in the back. You're like, well, I guess I'm supposed to be here. There was a line to get in.
Right? You know.
And you're like, oh, a party! And no one notices you because you're just sort of in the background. with your unicorn. We also learned about the fine sport of wizard ball, of which Alexander is quite proficient at.
Yes.
The strange and mysterious dark visions that Persephone has been having since her arrival here at the school. She's gone out on a quest with her friend to begin the search, to try and research these strange visions. You're on the quest. You've been assigned the quest to investigate
The sigils.
the sigils that are appearing in the woods, strange, mysterious
Yes.
rooms, and you were assigned by your oh so lovely school teacher.
Yes.
But you were working with your friend to learn about why these dark visions might be happening. And I think that's...
She may have insinuated it was some form of attraction, which certainly, I may assure you, is not the case.
Although, would you have assured her of the same thing after the unicorn?
I cannot comment on that.
Excellent. Excellent. So, we are going to begin with another cycle. And our cycle begins with a novel chapter, which is kind of our free-form story section where we can interact as characters. So, based on any of the things that were happening last week, what did anyone have a specific thing that they were hoping to do kind of immediately following any of the, or narratively immediately following any of those events? If they want to dive into one of those scenes, if not, I can paint us somewhere.
Paint us somewhere.
Well then, if you insist, Persephone. So perhaps, where would Persephone find herself after this research?
The gala. I mean,
Yeah.
The
There was the horse
unicorn.
riding, and
thing.
what happened after that? Where did they end up?
I got really tuckered out and went to bed.
Did we part ways before you went to bed, or did we
Did
ride
you
back?
just like pass out on the horse? Like what?
Was it like at the house, or
I think I sat down on the lounge and fell asleep, and then a servant woke me up and reminded me that it was most unbecoming of myself to just lie down fully clothed on the couch and take a nap, and then I went to my room.
Okay.
Got distracted.
So perhaps before when you're taking a nap on the couch, you come back in. Servants bring you some tea. It's late because I think it was maybe the late afternoon we were going. So it's approaching into the evening. You start nodding off Alexander on this sofa, and we hear a distant sort of ring of a bell and knock on the door, and some sort of conversation mumbling amongst the servants as you're drinking your tea in the drawing room. And one of the servants comes in and they go, excuse me, Miss Persephone, there is a person here to see you.
to see me?
Yes, they said you were here, and they were delighted to reacquaint themselves with you, their long-lost love they have not seen since time before.
There must be some mistake.
Oh, no, they were quite
perhaps,
insistent.
Perhaps the young sir is making a joke of some sort.
Shall I let them in? And bring them some tea?
Certainly we should be polite, but I'm sure this is all just
Very
a
well.
misunderstanding.
And they just sort of immediately disappear. And they come back a moment later. And behind them, we see a very debonair figure. They are gorgeous and clearly flamboyantly dressed. A beautiful cravat, a silken shirt, their suit jacket impeccably tailored, their hair slicked and coiffed backwards as they sort of enter into the room, taking up the presents. Alexandra, do you continue to sleep through this?
Yes.
All right. Persephone, my lady! And they sort of immediately drop to like one knee and put their hand out for you and just... It is so good to see you again.
Jean, mon amour, but pourquoi est-ce que vous ici?
For you. But who is this? And they sort of turn to Alexander and stand up.
C'est le petit garçon?
We are in England. Speak English here. Your voice is so lovely when you do.
It's my charge. The young
Oh?
Alexander Abnedego Allerton Pickering.
No one, just your charge, yes?
Of course. It's clearly.
He gives you a meaningful look.
Jean.
It means like 7 different things.
Jean, what brings you here? How did you find out I was here?
You are a difficult woman to find,
Intentionally so.
but I found you. Perhaps through a few spells, I still have your locket.
You kept that all this time?
Of course I did. I couldn't forget our time in Paris.
Well, I couldn't forget your departure from Paris either.
The winds carried me away. What else could I do, Persephone? My little Finch.
I can think of a few, but we are in polite company.
Oh, yes, so polite. Like Alexander.
I must admit, despite myself, it is good to see you, but it also rips my heart in two.
Well, then perhaps I should just leave.
No, you've come all this way.
It was a long trip. On a boat, and a train, and another boat. And then at one point I was on a dragon. It was very complicated to get here.
And not singed a little bit. You're better than you used to be.
I've been practicing. Perhaps we should have
A
tea.
garden.
This-
There's a garden. In the
Oh.
back. Yes. We should let the young sir sleep.
Yes, of course. He's quite a picture.
I just feel someone complimenting me, and I kind of wake up for a second.
That is true. Wait, let's adjourn. Let the young sir sleep, and we can catch up. And
It is good to see you again. I know we did not depart on the best of terms.
you did not depart upon the best of terms, but I am stronger for it. And
I did not depart on any terms, I suppose. I did not leave any words behind. I did just disappear, yes, I suppose.
some thought you might have died at first, until the tales started. You were the toast
Oh.
of Italy.
I did have a good time in Milan. And then after that, I went to Madrid and then to Budapest. And I started eventually made my way to Istanbul and just all the way across the continent. That's why I had to take the dragon back.
Did you leave the dragon in the yard?
Oh, no, I left it farther north. I stopped by Scotland on my way here.
It's a relief. Things have been a bit unstable here as of late.
So, and he puts out his arm. Takes yours. Tell me everything. Did you graduate? You were studying abroad.
Where? A master's now.
A master of my heart, but also,
Potions
of course,
and alchemy.
you are such an intelligent woman.
I'm glad you find that a positive. Not all in my class did.
I can imagine, and I assume you gave them boils.
That can neither be confirmed nor denied.
Of course. So, what brings you here to the Pickerings? I have heard their family name, well, the other side of the family.
I like a challenge.
Oh, the young one is a challenge.
He's, means well. He's not exactly a good student.
What is he good at?
Unicorns? Beasts of any kind. Creatures of any kind.
Oh.
Mountain riding creatures.
Riding the creatures.
Yes, and wizard ball. He's very fond of wizard ball, which unfortunately there are no degrees granted in wizard ball.
So he's the athletic type.
Yes.
Not your type?
Of course not. He's barely. He's a child.
He could grow up.
I like a little bit more intelligence in general. You know my type.
I was wondering if it had changed, that's all.
Everything changes.
You are at the college.
Well, I'm adjacent to the college. The local witches association is quite displeased with the situation of cult wizardry.
I have heard some rumors. Anything in particular?
They've voted to outlaw unlicensed wands.
Ugh. Those stuffy wizards. Next thing you know, they'll be saying you can only brew potions in a licensed pot.
Certainly would not be surprising. And I feel badly. I mean, they're a bit gossipy, but they don't deserve to have their wands taken away. But what are you up to? Why did you come here of all places? This is hardly Budapest.
Would you believe me if I said I came to find you?
I would not.
Well then, perhaps we shall have to spend more time with each other so you can learn everything that brought me here.
Very well.
Now, and he, I think, returned back and says, my lady, I shall depart into the night.
Au revoir, mon petit chouchou. À demain.
Au revoir, mon ami. Mon amour. What did he say? Not my friend. And then he, like, flutters away, as he always does.
Grab my fan and head up to my room.
You just see, like, the servants watching. Oh, Alexander, it's time to wake up. You get back to your room. This is quite indecent of you.
Just kind of trundle on, bleary-eyed.
Send you back. So, Jean has arrived. The next day comes, or perhaps a few days will pass. Is there anything?
I'm just very disappointed that I did not get to meet John when he was here.
Do you tell anybody about John?
The servants tell me.
Oh.
And I am like, how can there be a new person in town and I don't know them? Unacceptable. Let's just say inside it's more like lemongrab going, unacceptable! I don't say that out loud, that's how I feel. And I kind of am going to seek John out to be like, I need to introduce myself.
Oh. How are you going to go about finding John?
Just pay somebody.
That's the old Allerton Pickering spirit.
I have a problem that needs to be solved. Money shall solve my
Throw
problem.
it at the problem.
All right, so Alexander, you are seeking out Jean to try and find him through the throwing out of money. So we can come to that scene eventually.
Mm-hmm.
What has not Persephone? What has Faye been up to? Because she had an assignment.
I think she has definitely gone to investigate the sigils, to find them, to try and find them herself so that she maybe can make some copies, prestidigitate some copies or something so that she can better investigate them. So she's definitely gone to the woods and wandered.
She's wandering in the woods. Do you think she gets lost, or does she know these woods pretty well?
I think she probably knows them fairly well, because she's been back for a while, so she's probably visited her sister a fair amount over the last few years, so she probably knows the woods all right, and doesn't get terribly lost, but I don't know if she randomly encounters somebody dark and mysterious there, perhaps, or not. I don't know.
She may.
I don't know, but that's...
I feel like this, maybe, I don't know, Cheryl's had a very quick costume change there.
Yeah,
So at some point we see, like, the griffin sort of, which is sort of just lumbering along behind you, like if they could be a stroppy teenager, that's what they're doing.
I was going to say she did decline to have the griffin go with her.
don't-
So whether if the griffin did anyway, she has definitely tried to lose the tail. Not going so far as to leave the amulet behind, but definitely somewhat uncomfortable made uncomfortable by the griffin.
Every so often it just catches up with you again.
I said you could go home. Don't give me that. This is not my fault. I know you have more important things to do.
And then it just like skulks down and looks into the distance through the trees.
Is that a sound of distress I hear?
Oh, no.
Miss Green?
Letitia, was it?
Yes.
You're my nephew's friend.
Indeed. I'm sorry we haven't had more time to talk. I was just taking a walk and admiring the scenery when I heard your griffin's discomfort.
Oh, he's not mine.
Tell him that.
I have.
Tell me, how do you find yourself this good day?
Quite well, thank you.
I'm so sorry to hear of your sister's distress.
I am sure she will be quite fine, but I will be sure to pass along your kind regards to my younger sister.
It's so encouraging to see someone in a later stage of life adapting to new studies as you have. Very inspiring for so many of us.
Oh, I'm still quite young. I am but 18.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, I'm barely 19 myself, dear. Oh, I see.
What brings you into my sister's family's woods at are you just here for a stroll, perhaps on your way to see
Yes,
Alexander?
I was just on my way to see Alexander. It's been a few days. I wanted to give him time to work on his wizard bow. As you know, he's very passionate, and far be it from me to interrupt, but we were going to see each other on the evening of the fete, as it were, but since it's been postponed, Alexander couldn't wait another moment.
Absolutely.
Tell
You
me.
two seem very familiar.
I am lucky to have met him. He is truly unique.
That is quite true.
Tell me, what has you walking out about?
Oh, I have an early assignment from one of my professors.
Quite the achiever, I see.
I certainly aim to impress my professors this year. I'm hoping to become head girl before I graduate.
I'm certain you can achieve anything you put your mind to.
Quite right. I think that most people can. But thank you. I don't mean to keep you from your appointment.
Of course. Did you need any help getting to where you need to be?
Oh, I'm
I
already
know these woods quite
there,
well.
I think. Well, perhaps. Have you seen any sort of markings or sigils appearing on the trees?
I've seen a few things. Any particular sort of sigil?
I don't know if I have any sort of an image or whatnot. Yeah,
Like conjure one up with
okay.
your magic. 'Cause you were shown some of them. Yeah. We see her sort of like concentrating. Ooh, is there some magic you would like to do?
Well, I think what Letitia would like to do is to cast a small spell to make a different sigil appear somewhere nearby than the ones that her professor might have been referring to.
Oh, so a little wild goose chase. Okay. Something that looks like one of those sigils, but is not one of them.
Right.
Okay. I think that is totally doable. If you want it to happen without any negative effects, then you can pay the resolve token for it. Alternatively, if you would like there to be some sort of significant downside to this, then you can take a resolve token.
Take a resolve token.
Okay. What do you have an idea for what you think the downside for this could be?
Let's see. How does the magic consume or possess you? I think disastrously out of control. Perhaps a brush fire starts elsewhere, not where they are.
Okay, so in exchange, somewhere in the forest, a portion of the forest catches on fire. Okay, yeah, that sounds a significant complication. There will now be a forest fire.
But that's a complication for me. She's leaving.
It is a complication for the story.
Okay. Okay.
I think that it's allowed.
But
Because
we
it's
do
that your
appreciate
magic has a
that's fine.
significant drawback or complication. So you want to... How about... it is clearly traceable to you. Like, the magic has a certain quality to it. That if someone were... Maybe not our dearest Fae, but someone else more experienced might be able to figure out that you were the one who cast it.
Okay.
How's that sound? Okay, so take the resolve token, and then we will ask a question. Player of the magic's target. You're kind of the magic's target, so pick one of the questions on that magic list. The little one. I'm also going to say there's probably going to be a small smoldering fire somewhere, but that's just a town complication.
So which side am I?
The take a resolve token side, so the
Okay.
right side.
So I have to pick.
Mm-hmm.
A question to ask me, and then or
Oh, okay. Question to ask you.
Oh, yeah. So this is actually the question, and this is what will determine the downside will be.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
So we haven't decided the fire thing yet.
Nope.
My intent is to create a decoy sigil nearby.
Cool.
I think I'm going to ask, how do you earn the enmity or hatred of a faction? I want backup.
From this act, I assume that I think that when I summon the sigil, it's probably a sacred, like it just pulls from my memory something that I've seen, and it probably pulls something that the Witches College, the Association of the Local Witches, hates a lot. Although I don't know if that directs it at me enough.
I think we could work with that.
Okay. Well, you know, it's funny you bring something up because I did see something that looked like a sigil just over there. I think if you want to follow me, I think I can remember the way. There's a bit of a smell of copper for a moment.
Oh, yeah, you like taste, like there's a moment where Faye like tastes the like blood in her on her tongue, but like there's no blood in her mouth for that brief moment of like copper and iron, and then it's gone. Maybe you like smell some of it too. And then do you follow?
Sorry, I was dealing with something.
That's okay. I figured.
Can you repeat just a smidge of that?
So
Letitia.
I believe there's something just over there, and there's just the slightest smell of copper. And if you want to follow me, I think I can find the way. This might be what you seek.
Thank you. Perhaps. And she is led astray.
And
How long do you stay with her? Like, do you just take her over there?
I take her over there, and I watch her reaction for sure. I don't leave her until she's had a moment to process what she sees. Is this the sort of thing you were looking for?
And I can tell that it's not. It's
Not
different,
exactly the
'cause
same, but it's
not.
similar. Like it's the same sort of quality of the other ones. That
I'm not quite sure. However, I should record it just in case.
of course.
Thank you.
Good luck on your search.
Thank you kindly. I'm sure I'll find exactly what I need.
We see the griffin like goes over and like sniffs this, like smells the sigil in the air, and then like takes one last look as Letitia disappears into the shadows. As if the griffin knows. The griffin knows. Oh, beautiful. Are you going to return to the college at some point with this information?
Yeah, I think she continues her search though.
Okay.
Like
You're gonna spend some more time there.
she's naive, but not stupid.
She's not finished yet.
Yeah.
She needs to get all of the evidence.
So-
Obviously, this was just one.
Yeah.
And there may be more. So you spend some time, I imagine, kind of wandering in the woods, occasionally losing the griffin, occasionally picking the griffin back up again. And you find maybe a handful of these sigils. All of them seem to kind of agree, I think, with what the professor was saying.
She also tries to lose the griffin less after running into Letitia. She smells not the copper. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to pun, but for once, she smells that something is off about Letitia.
Nice. Letitia, however, is she going to be making her way to the manor, the house of the Pickerings?
Well, she wasn't necessarily headed there, but now she
was
feels
she
like...
What? She wasn't being entirely honest?
Oh,
But she
strange.
feels that perhaps the stop by would be in order just to cross all the T's.
Okay. She doesn't want to be called to
Now,
lie.
I don't know if she finds the young Alexander.
Right,
there.
that's true. The young Alexander has been on a quest
Yes.
throughout town. Endless questing. So do you think he is staying at the manor and like waiting for the person to come to him with the information, or do you think he would eventually like disappear?
I think I've probably taken a few little like trots throughout the town to see if I can find this person, because I do know literally every person in this town, and I like make mental notes like who they are, what they like, that kind of thing. I mean, I often get the information wrong, but I'm trying. I care about these things. But I probably would be at home, just waiting for. I sent servants out to invite this person out for a ride with me, and just hoping that they show up.
Okay. So I think then Letitia would probably catch you at home.
Yeah.
Would Letitia knock on the door? Would she be, or would she just sort of appear? Like, how does she make her presence known? Last time she just sort of appeared at the end of the garden.
In this case, I think she may show up at the door because she believes. Yeah, well, this time she'll show up at the door.
Okay. Hello. How may I help you today?
Good afternoon. I'm an associate of young Alexander's, and I thought perhaps to check if he was at home.
Right. Yes. Here's in the garden. Where would he be?
Probably in the garden,
Yeah.
practicing sword fighting or something.
Right this way. Right this way. You may come in, please.
Thank you so much.
And so it leads you through the house and to the back, to the same garden that you appeared in the last time. And it's right here. And so, Letitia, you are brought forth. The young Alexander, I have a visitor. I must go attend to the lady. She is calling me, I can tell.
Good luck.
There's a stupid psychic link.
Oh, my petite Alexander, how are you doing with your mother in such a poor state?
Oh, thank you for asking, but darling, it's so wonderful to see you. Can you believe this weather we're having? I thought I was smelling smoke earlier today.
So strange.
I cannot believe this
I
weather
thought
we're
it's
having.
not quite wildfire season yet, but things grow so dangerous.
There's no wildfire season in England.
Is it? No. There is when you have magic.
Yeah, there is. I just think that wildfire season is not
Maybe
a thing.
it's dragon hatching season.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. No, I love it. In this
Which
universe,
is
there
basically
are
wildfire
wild
season.
breath season.
Yeah. I heard there was a dragon nearby. Flew overhead just a day or two ago.
What? How did I miss that? Oh, I miss everything.
You've been at your studies, haven't you?
Yes. It's very difficult. I work, and I don't know if I'm making any progress. There's no point score for me to look at, like in Wizard Ball, to know if I'm actually making progress or not. I mean, I suppose tests are like that, but I haven't had any of those yet, and they make me nervous. I don't think they count. But anyway, this weather. I think the pixies are back in our forests. I'm gonna have to check it out later.
Don't worry yourself about the forest here. You have
the
more
distance.
important things.
Like, you turn him around as you're saying that, because in the distance we just see this sort of plume of smoke rising.
Besides, I heard that your aunt is herself taking on a bit of care of your nearby forest, so I'm sure it's in good hands.
What? We have servants for that. Why is she out there?
She said it was something to do with her studies.
She should have taken me with her then.
But you have more important things to worry about. Tell me about Wizard Ball.
Oh, yes, Wizard Ball! I've been doing so many exercises. I'm getting better at passing. I know that was my weak point. They called me the ball hog. I'm getting better at passing the ball. I want to assist more, whatever that means.
So talented.
Well, thank you. Anyway, how have you been?
Oh, I've been fine. The family's fine. Things are so boring these days with you in school.
I'm sorry. Yes, it is boring to not have as much time for parties and Wizard Ball and working out. I'm afraid, it's... Yes, well,
You've been running around my head.
well, Mother's not here, so maybe we need to be a little careful with what we say. There's no chaperones around or anything. You didn't bring your chaperone. Well, anyway, look, there's Erica. I will go talk to her.
At first I was skeptical of your request for me to meet your mother, but I find myself looking forward to that grand party.
Yes, well, absolutely. Is there anything I can do to help you feel more comfortable meeting her?
Just be yourself.
Okay.
And don't worry too much about the forest. Focus on your Wizard Ball.
Wizard Ball, yes. Speaking of which, I should get back to practicing.
Good to see you, my dear.
This
Lovely.
is the most awkward relationship. Dude just, watch as he walks away.
Yeah. Very inscrutable expressions.
Did you have a parasol while you were outside?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Always.
I just wanted to make sure. Also, we've had a couple of raids, so thank you for both sets of raiders for coming in.
Yes.
If you are new and joining us, we are playing Good Society, Pride, Prejudice, and Practical Magics. It is the magical expansion, a Jane Austen-style RPG, and we're in the middle of some of our character chapter sections. Letitia skulks off. Alexander scurries away.
Well, it's very stressful. There's a lot of desire there, and I'm trying to be good.
He's a good boy. He's the best golden retriever.
Chaperones.
Chaperone. I think eventually you'll probably make your way back to school.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you immediately head to talk to your professor?
I think so, yeah.
You head in to speak with Professor Esmeralda Ellis.
Yes.
Where would we find Professor Esmeralda? Professor Ellis.
Let me.
Don a new hat?
I mean, I
Maybe
can
doff
just
the hat?
leave a note, but...
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
I'm there. I am probably
Sorry, that's a different phase. That's the letter writing portion.
Yeah.
probably in the astrology lab, because reading the stars is one of my specialties.
I think the astrology lab is just a room that's always nighttime.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a perfect reflection of the sky.
Yep.
And I can change a dial to go back through time and look forward through predictions as well.
Oh, good. Yes. It's like the clock in Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Where they go to the library and then they can turn the wheel and it shows you what the sky would look like, except more magical.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm probably there, kind of distracted. I don't really notice that anyone comes in. I'm just looking over my notes and checking things, and I've got a magnifying glass like you would for jewelry to look at stars closer and everything.
She probably just watches for a few minutes, kind of in awe.
Eventually the griffin is like and just comes back over to Professor Ellis and like curls up in this obvious pillow. Like there's like other pillows for students and stuff to sit on, but there's one that's very clearly covered in feathers and cat hair.
Yeah.
And it just like goes in and just loudly announces its presence and then curls back up in this pillow.
Did we ever name the griffin?
I don't think so.
All right, I'm gonna say its name is Shadrach.
I think a lot of chat has named it Gus.
Oh,
I'm not even kidding. I've seen it named Gus.
okay.
But-
Well, that's what
but
everyone
Shadrach-
calls it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only call it Shadrach when it's in trouble.
Shadrach is its like true name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence why I only call it Shadrach when it's in trouble.
Right.
And so I look down. I see. Oh yes. Oh Gus, you're here. And I look around the room and I say, you've returned. How are the woods? Anything useful?
I'm assuming I was able to find some of the sigils as
Yeah.
well as the fake ones. I was able to find some of those sigils you asked me to look for in the woods behind my sister's residence. But I also found a different type as well, but they were suspicious. And she,
What do you mean by
magics up.
suspicious?
Well, I ran into one of the young lady Wessex, Letitia Wessex.
Never heard of her.
She, she, I believe, is dating my nephew, actually. But I ran into her in the woods, and she pointed me in the direction of this sigil, and she magics up the fake one.
Oh, I would be careful drawing that sigil too often. Yes. How about you don't draw that again? We have one drawing of it. We don't need more of them. And maybe you kind of accidentally misdrew it and wrote something really offensive. And I was like,
Oh, I just assumed that it was something offensive to begin with, but really, really ancient and obscure.
yes. Well.
Yeah.
These women are like,
yeah.
oh, maybe we shouldn't. No.
Yeah.
Just like, what? Oh, okay.
Yes. Can I see the actual documentation? Did you bring any notes that I can look
Yes,
at? And I'm
of
going to
course.
step in a little.
That one was an ancient witch mark that was used to like curse people.
Yeah. It was very rude.
Yeah.
It's
very rude.
Yeah.
But also like would give you like turn you into a toad sort of rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come and want to look at your notes, and I'm going to step in quite close. And I'm looking through the papers. Ah, interesting. Interesting. And this was all you found?
Today, yes. I can go back if you think there's more.
That might not be necessary. If I showed you a map of the county, do you think you could identify where on this map you found these various sigils?
Yes.
Okay. And the other one, the one that you just drew, I'm imagining the actual sigil you found looked a little bit different. Do you have a copy of what you saw?
No, that was it. Exactly.
Well, could be dwarves going through puberty.
I should mention, perhaps, I feel... I feel I must. I do not like speaking ill of people, particularly ones that I do not know well, but something smelled off. Something wasn't right with Ms. Wessex. I can't explain it.
Can you tell me more about this scent?
Well, as this is a bit awkward for me. It isn't something that my family likes to flaunt, but we are not entirely descended from humans, and having also spent some time in the Fae, since coming back, I have noticed that I can somewhat smell when other people are not completely and entirely of human descent.
Ah, well, I see. Yes, that can happen. I would, you don't want to out anybody. So maybe keep this to yourself. Just respect this person's privacy, and I don't think we need to worry about it. And this other sort of sigil you found that was a little different, like I said, probably just some mischief. Nothing to worry about too much. But these other things you sent me are quite interesting. Are you familiar with any ancient languages?
A few, but not anything close to this.
So this, to me, looks like something that was a very obscure language that came about during just a short period of time when the Saxons were first here and the Danes were fighting, and in the lower kingdoms, especially Mercia and Wessex, there were some sort of seers that were brought in and converted to Christianity, and they were asked to develop a certain godly language. And a lot of the royalty at the time was very interested in using this to further their claims to the throne, and I'm not quite...
She's taking copious notes. Like, just like...
I'm not even looking at you anymore. I'm actually just, like, thinking out loud and just, like, going through it in my head. And like, ooh. Not the best professor, to be honest. Just intimidating because I'm smart. And, this looks familiar, but it doesn't quite line up with what that language looked like. I don't think it's a dialect of this, but it looks almost as though if I look at the shift and the vowels, it could be a furthering of this language, maybe a continued evolution of it. The drift is a little... I can't quite say for sure. I will need to go consult some linguistics texts. Thank you so much for your help. If you find anything more, I would love to see it. And if you wouldn't mind also looking through some linguistics texts, seeing if you can find anything about this.
Of course, Professor, of course.
But I do think that
Scribble.
it's unlikely this was carved recently. The magics that they were working on were often slow and took a long time to sort of develop. And maybe that's where things are coming from. Maybe it was an experiment and everyone just died while trying it. And it just got left
She sort
over.
of mumbles off to herself as you go slowly back out of the room.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Just writing something down.
Should be illegal.
Sure. So quick flashback to all right. So I think there will be. I think that's probably a good round of scenes for us to go into our reputation. Everybody's character has had at least one or two scenes. So we're going to go into the reputation phase. So now we're getting into some of the more back-end bookkeeping of our roleplay. So take a look at your reputation criteria from your family background and, determine if you met either of those positive or negative criteria, in which case then we will create a tag for that.
Anna, could you pass me the one for my family's thing that's on this table?
Yeah, because your peerage. And you only need to do this for your main character, not for your side characters. Their reputation is irrelevant. Should be it.
Yeah.
Peerage.
Thank you kindly.
I think I did.
Yes. Which one?
Acted in service of duty or morality in a way that compromised my desires.
Ooh.
She definitely did not want to admit that she wasn't entirely human.
Okay. But that
But she
admission,
did,
you think it
because
was?
it was her duty.
Yeah. All right. What do you think the tag was that you earned for that?
No idea. I don't know. Let me think about it. If somebody else.
So we're
has-
going to give you a positive tag.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I think I acted in obedience to society's conventions despite considerable hardship and my raging
not
desire.
Jumping the bones of your girlfriend? Uh-huh.
And,
I would agree.
You know, made sure that her sort of, social standing wouldn't be called into question by spending too much time alone with me.
Mm.
And I think the positive tag there would be gentlemanly.
I like it. So, just as a reminder for all of you, when you reach your third tag in one of the categories, either one, then you can mark one of the reputation conditions. As long as you have 3 tags in that category, you get to use that fun special ability. But remember, these tags can also be used as resolve tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Positive ones you can use for yourself, and the negative ones other people can use against you.
I am going to go somewhat literal and say the Fae.
Okay.
Fae is her tag. So she is kind and Fae. Ta-da.
Do you think Persephone?
I don't think she's been considerable hardship or compromising desires just yet. She has swirling desires. I don't know if she knows what they are, but she hasn't had a point of reckoning yet.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Jean may have gained a negative tag for acting in contravention of society's conventions, showing up at a woman's house and going for a walk with an unmarried lady and late at night.
There is totally a scandal that's coming from
Is
this.
very scandalous. So Jean, I think, receives the negative tag uncouth.
Did he have tags to begin with?
He does. Charming is his positive tag, and strange and uncouth. Or I guess ungentlemanly. Perhaps forward.
Sorry, I just read Lizzie's letters.
Lizzie's written us letters.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes,
I can't wait. I can't wait. Cool. So those are our reputation conditions. So, based off of that, we actually do need to adjust potentially the reputation for the College of Wizardry, because both of you, you didn't receive one. You're not officially part of the College of Wizards. You are, and your reputation went up, and no one else's went down, which means that we overall, leader acted publicly, doesn't do anything, each positive, +1. So we are going to add 1 to the influence score. So the College of Wizardry, still authoritative, and it has an influence of 3 now.
Ooh.
So influential. Because you're doing so good. Look at you go, Faye.
Sorry, Lizzie.
You on your own, raising that up.
I didn't mean to do this.
Sure.
You just run away with Letitia in the forest. You could have.
Yeah, I would have. I could have gotten yourself some negative tags there. All right, so that's our reputation. Does anyone want to create, any of our College of Wizards here, want to create a decree? We've already passed one, so we can create a different one. We can only have one at a time, so this would replace the other one.
I think that the wands,
The wands,
are
we're still-
sufficiently scandalous.
We're still sticking
Yeah.
with the wands?
Mhm.
All right, those dang licensed wands. It's very important. All right, so that concludes the reputation portion, and now we go into what might be one of my favorites, which is rumors and scandal. So, as a reminder, when we look at our rumors and scandal section, all of the ones that have that box filled in will go away if we do not spread those rumors this round. We'll cross them off. So you can spread any of the rumors that have not been given a resolve token, or you can create your own rumor. And we'll go around, we'll each go twice. So does anyone have one that they want to start with?
I do.
And let's go over the ones that we have on the sheet, just so everybody remembers. The ones that have tokens, we have Persephone is fleeing a scandal. The local Witches Association has had no new members for years. And Dr. Witherston is a drunkard and a philanderer. He's the head of the College of Wizards. Those 3 have tokens. The ones that do not, Alexander is secretly betrothed to Letitia. The Wizards College is planning a new expansion, a new campus. And there's a clan of vampires haunting the woods. And Letitia's family is starting their own Wizards College. So does anyone... You've got one to start? Okay.
Oh, I just want to use one of these tokens.
Oh, you don't need to use them right now.
Okay.
Those ones are for whenever
Gameplays.
during scenes.
Oh, gameplay.
We just
dungeons.
forgot about them and
Yep.
we had them all waiting.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that the Alexander's family, the Allerton Pickering family, is somehow connected to this Persephone scandal, and that just people are saying all kinds of things, but Persephone definitely is fleeing a scandal, and now the Allerton Pickering family is implicated in this scandal.
So is it like a new line,
Yeah.
new rumor?
Yes, this would be the. Let's see if we can make it a little bit more specific. The Allerton Pickering family is like, in what way are they implicated in this scandal?
They're hiding some sort of dirty business within the continent, and that's why they brought someone back from there.
So they brought Persephone for something other than being a tutor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Mom.
Interesting. Interesting.
Do you have one, or we can go this direction?
I don't have. I'm gonna spread some stuff.
All right,
It's
yeah,
got some
spread
good
one.
complexity there. But this one is intriguing to me, and I think I will spread it.
Okay, you're gonna spread
Yeah.
that Persephone is here for some reason other than being a tutor.
encourage
Maybe
you,
she
mate, Mom.
knows. Maybe she doesn't know. Do you want to spread one or start one?
I want to. I think I will spread the clan of vampires in the woods.
Yeah, do it, because I was gonna spread that one if you didn't.
So we have a lot of.
All right. So I will.
So does that, because it was in decline, does that just go back up to neutral, or does it get an action?
It doesn't matter. So once,
Okay.
so now it has its own token, and once that token's used, we cross it off. So
Okay.
it's just that you have two opportunities to spread it: the after it's first created, and then the second round after it was created. I think I'm going to both spread one, and also start one because I go twice. So let's start by spreading. The Alexander is secretly betrothed to Letitia because that sounds like a great one to spread. And then I will start a new, right? I will start a new rumor, which is that there is a if I want, I'm like, do I want it to be focused around the people? Let's go with this. There is a dragon nest. Is that what they'd be called? A dragon nest, somewhere in the woods. Or like in the, the countryside. Okay.
I want to start the rumor that the Wizards College is actually no, that the headmaster is a flagrant womanizer, and that's why he hates the local witches organization. Ugh. That's why he hates the local witches so much. Because clearly he's biased against them, which should be illegal.
I will spread a new rumor that fairies have been spotted on the fringes of the forest.
These are great woods. And last but not least.
Oh, goodness, this is so hard. I think that the Professor Esmeralda Ellis would have probably had someone ask her about, is it true that the headmaster is a flagrant womanizer? And she would have been half paying attention and just agreed to it.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So you're going to spread that rumor?
Yes, I'm going to spread that rumor.
No rumors.
And I'm sorry, what was yours, Cheryl?
The fairies have been spotted on the edge of the forest.
Thank you.
So a few of them age out.
Yep, so we are now going to cross off the Wizards College is planning a new expansion because no one spread that one, and also that Letitia's family is starting their own Wizards College. Those get crossed off because they didn't get spread. And then we fade the Dragon Nest and the fairies. So the rumors are rumors, they're just not substantial enough that they have their own token, essentially, yet. So you could maybe reference them, but it's not necessarily that you can't leverage them.
So, Dragon's Nest and...
Fairies. So, that concludes the rumors and scandal phase. And that will bring us finally to the epistolary, our letter writing section. So everybody can pen 1 or 2 letters, or, or everyone should probably pen at least one, either as their own character. You're going to go acquire us some letters?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 or 2 letters, either from themselves or from one of their connections to someone else, and they can be related to pretty much anything. Does anyone have a letter they wanted to pen?
Sure. Letitia, and for those who are just joining, just to clarify, we all have 2 characters. So Persephone's my main character. Letitia is my other character, his girlfriend. Letitia shall write a letter to Gregor Fitzwilliam, who is... we don't read the descriptions. We don't share
No.
anything.
No.
Dear Gregor, the ageless one wanders through forests in search of a truth she is not entitled to. Mind the breadcrumbs, if success is to be obtained. Letitia. It's just one big L. Swoosh, swoosh. Dun dun dun.
Right?
Yeah, that's...
You see someone read them, crumple it up, and throw it into the fire. It casts a blue flame and disappears.
Nice.
What is he up to? Um,
I'm going to write one to my friend. What was my friend's name?
Lucian.
Okay, as I thought so. I went with L names. I don't know why. Okay, so I write a letter as Alexander to my best friend Lucian, and it's only been like a couple of days probably since the last.
Maybe he hasn't even gotten the previous one.
And I'm just like, my dearest Lucian, why have I not heard back from you yet? Did I offend you with my last letter? If I did, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I must ask for your advice. How does one resist temptation when it can be so strong? I know
For Alexander.
life is full of suffering and desire, and you just distract yourself with meaningless things until you die. And I'm trying to do that, although I think that I found true meaning in Wizard Ball. But anyway, I don't know what my future's going to be. Imagine a future 20 years out. Fairies have taken over the world. Maybe not. The story isn't about that. Anyway, I am wondering, how do you deal with desire? I was accosted by my friend without a chaperone, and it was most difficult. Please send me your advice. I had to run away. It was very, I don't know, scary. I felt scary deep down inside. And I just sign it.
Okay. I think that she's not here, but she's watching. So Amelia Periwinkle the Inquisitor General, is going to send a brief note. Dearest Felicity, that's right, she doesn't use her title.
Oh.
It is, I had heard of your unfortunate illness. I will be spending some more time here in Punswallow to allow you to gather yourselves and your local association in order to prepare for our visit. I wouldn't want to drop in on you in undue fashion. Please take best care of yourself, and I hope that this is not a terrible case of dragon's cough. I've heard that's been going around this county. Please, do take care of yourself, and I look forward to us meeting and working towards our synergistic, high community-driven endeavors. Sincerely, Amelia. Periwinkle, High Inquisitor, Local Witches Association, Branch 232.
So Faye got a letter from her sister. So I'm gonna read that because Lizzie's not here. I'm thinking, wait, what does her voice sound like? Dear Faye, I thought I heard a griffin outside earlier. Please be careful what manner of beast you lead into the woods near my estate. You know how Alexander wanders about. Despite his complete incompetence, I am rather fond of him. If he gets eaten, I will be most cross with you. I hope your studies are going well. With love, your baby sister. And that's why I laughed.
Oh, Alexander got a letter from his mom. But he and her, in his head, she is not old. She has a very, graceful, kind of commanding, a little scary, but soft voice. And it's very my dearest Alexander, it has been so long since your poor old mother has last laid eyes on you. I can scarcely remember your most cherished face. Alexander's already crying.
No.
Downstairs.
Yeah, she's upstairs, propped up on pillows, drinking her tea. And now you're in your downstairs, bawling your eyes out while the servant's just watching you.
She's so alone. Completely surrounded by servants. So alone. Goodness.
This is just a letter she slid under the door and he's right on the other side.
Are you well, my darling child? I thought I heard snoring in the late afternoon, long after you should have been awake and studying. And then he just feels so guilty, he almost throws up. He's like, no, I've been letting her down. She's working so hard, she got me a tutor and everything. I'm the worst. Okay. You have not been struck with this horrible plague that ails your frail mother, have you? Truly, Cottonmouth is a scourge. And he's just like, do I have cottonmouth? Oh my goodness. And then he's like, no, I don't think so. I think I'm okay. All right, how goes your studies? Are you paying attention to Miss Finch? I'm paying a lot of money for her, Alexander. You had better be taking this seriously. Don't make that face, and he's already going serious, yes, serious. Don't make that face, Alexander, Nego Allerton Pickering. I am your mother. It's all caps, so he's very much she's yelling at me. Oh no. Stop wandering around looking for pixies and get back to work. And he's just well, yes, we do have servants for that. That's fine. Unless you are associating with respectable, eligible ladies who would be a fortuitous match, then please make proper introductions so I can stop fretting about your future. Mother is always watching. Your mum. And he's just oh, God.
We look over your shoulder and we just see your mother, just Lady Felicity, just crouched behind the settee. Mother is always watching.
I have so many emotions right now, and I'm just I will cherish this for forever. God.
I will write one to Lady Information.
As Persephone? Or?
Yes, as
okay,
Persephone.
As Persephone.
Dearest Lady Felicia Allerton Pickering, it grieves my heart that you should suffer so, and I know that I wish only the best for you during this trial of a time. Your son and I endeavor to do you proud, and I must report that his work on charms is particularly enthusiastic. I know this is not your chosen field of study, but I think we may be able to align the planets. His desire to entertain people can be directed towards profitable veins of magic, respectable veins of magic, as it were. So I hope to channel that enthusiasm. You really should see him ride his unicorn sometime. He's come quite far. Like weird, long, like smudgy thing on the letter. Please do endeavor to let me know if there's anything I can do to make this trying time better for you or your son. Sincerely, Miss Persephone Finch.
The letter is received, and the servant takes it upstairs. Miss Persephone Finch will receive a letter, a reply from her uncle, Professor Hugh Lamington, all the way from Excelsior. He sends a letter. It says, "Dearest Persephone, it was so good to hear from you, to hear that you are doing well in your new position in the Allerton Pickering household. I've heard that they are and this, you can sense the pause, he's scratched out several words. Energetic, no. Enthusiastic, no. Interesting family. They have a long history of magical experience. Yes. You wrote to me of visions, of concerns, of dark visions that you were experiencing. And my dear, this is most concerning for me. I had never heard of such thing. Well, I had heard of such things before, but to hear that my dearest niece is experiencing them is somewhat alarming. I did some digging on my own, asked around in the College of Divination, and they spoke to me of something that might interest you. That sometimes you mentioned that these visions came to you when you encountered a specific individual. That sometimes the fates might intertwine two people together, such that when one of them has a dark cloud hanging over them, the other one is forced under it, and neither of them have an umbrella. It's quite an awkward situation. In this instance, you may find these visions will cease if you can disband and banish the darkness that is shrouding this other person. Perhaps it is that fate itself sent you for a reason other than merely to educate this young boy. But it could also just be that you're having a bad nightmare. Have you tried elderflower root to help with your sleep? That was also suggested to me from the potions call. I don't know what, you have a master's in this. I love you, your uncle, Professor Lamington.
Excellent.
It's like scratched and there's ink splotches.
And he hangs out with animals, so there's a bite out of the corner.
It's a paw print somewhere on it as a cat walked across the ink. But it's lovingly sent to you with a wax seal of Excelsior on it.
Ah, good old Excelsior.
Intertwined fates. Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to send a letter?
I think Professor Esmeralda Ellis would write a letter to some scholars not associated with the Wizards College or the local Witches Guild, just sort of, let's say, the monastic order of people. And I'm sending a couple of them. They all say the same thing, and I include a map with the sigils we found and a couple of copies of them. And I charmed this letter so if anybody other than the intended opens it, all they will do is see blank pages. And there's no way to get out of this charm. And if you actually try too hard, you will just end up blind. So it's very well protected, very high level magic. In which I explain to everyone, I was like, my esteemed contemporary, they're not colleagues, they're contemporaries, I must implore you for aid in an endeavor that has suddenly come to my attention as perhaps catastrophic importance. And I'm clearly like distracted as I'm writing each sentence. So, like the sentence is a bit disjointed. It doesn't quite make sense, but they understand what I'm trying to say. It has recently come to my attention that one of my students maybe is having prophetic dreams or is bound to somebody, though I don't think she knows it yet. And it has also coincided with our woods sort of becoming expanded. As you might know, in our little corner, we have woods that the further you go in, the larger the woods get. And it seems as though this is growing worse, and perhaps people are getting lost in there. I'm a bit concerned, and I've sensed certain stirrings of magical energies in correspondence with these sigils I found. I do think that it could be from this period and this monastic order and the sigils they developed to do longer kingdom building magic, but I was pretty sure this all died out, and I was wondering if you had any records of what this might have been used for. I'm a little concerned because there does either seem to be linguistic drift because it's a more modern dialect, or it is just an older spell from another group that we don't know about, and I'm worried about maybe it's going to have some large effect if we don't impact it, or if maybe we shouldn't touch it, and I kind of just ramble on with lots of details for a very long time. It's like a 10-page letter.
Like a flow chart.
Yep. Lots of documents attached. I write, like, on every picture I send, like, extra notes to, like, explain all of my theories about it, and maybe I have, like, multiple copies to go into it. It's a very heavy letter. And I also send with it some nice tea. So that they can have something to drink while they read it.
It's a long letter.
Yeah. And I just sort of send those my way. I would probably send out about 5 or 6 of these to different expert scholars.
Okay. Okay. That sounds excellent. All right. I think.
Letter.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Does anyone else have another letter that they wanted to pen? Excellent. Well, with that, then I think that's an excellent place for us to take our break because we are now going to begin our next novel chapter. So with that, we're going to take a little break. We will return for a little bit of more noveling, reputationing, and epistolary. So Lizzie, prepare your next round of letters if you would like. We certainly wouldn't mind. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for the raids that we've gotten. We did receive one lovely donation I'm going to read out from William T.W. This show is so good it left you speechless, it seems. After all, groups funny as this one are as rare as an iridescent unicorn, aren't they? Oh, thank you, William. So thank you so much for that donation. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will see you again in just a few minutes. Enjoy some fan art. Go take a break yourself, get some water, stretch, do all of those things, and we'll be right back. Hello. Do we have audio this time? We do. We do indeed.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It's such a pleasure to see you all here and all of you here. And hello. Getting into character, are we?
My character would just constantly preen, so.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I hope you all had a lovely and refreshing break. We are going to jump into the what?
Did you move Discord there, or did I?
You did.
Oh, sorry.
But it's very useful for me.
That's what I figured. That's why I was like, did I? Okay,
I'm like a bird. If there's the reflection or a video of myself, I'll be like,
Me too.
hi.
Yeah, me too.
Hi there. Hi. You look great today. So instead of looking at the camera, which I can do right now, I'll be looking slightly off the camera because I would be looking at the picture of myself. But she covered it with Discord, so it's very convenient for me. So hello, everybody. Welcome back. Hi. Hi. How are you? Yeah. Oh, you're looking great there. We're here to play A Manor of Speaking, Third Time's the Charm, which is the magical expansion of Good Society, which, if you are interested in getting yourself a hard copy of this here game, much like this beautiful book, except I think the new cover is going to be blue.
Well, there's 2 books.
I think they're putting all 4 expansions into one hardcover book.
Expansions.
Yes, and then this one is the other book.
Exactly.
Yes. So
Yes,
you
but you can get both in their new Kickstarter.
You could get this lovely book, and then the other version of this lovely book, which will be a slightly different color and will contain all of the expansions. Or you can get PDF/digital versions of all of them, and they have lots of cards and other cool things. So go check out that Kickstarter if someone can drop that link in chat.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Story Brewers are a wonderful, dynamic duo that we have had the pleasure of working with and supporting here at Geek Space, and we're playing this expansion that you can now acquire. And this one is basically, if you're unfamiliar with it, Jane Austen, which is like British people from ye olden times, but not like ye old, I guess from old times, not ye olden times, and magic in this instance, and a lot of manners. So it'll be great. It'll be wonderful, and we're very excited to continue with the second half of this episode. In the first half, there were shenanigans and manners, and we're learning about their strange mysteries in the woods and all sorts of good things. You will notice one of our dearest characters is not here this evening because herself she is such a hardcore method actor that she wanted her character to be ill today, and so she herself is in fact ill. So that's how it works, right?
Dedication.
Yeah. Dedication
Yeah.
to her craft. But thankfully she has so far been able to watch and chat, so we may have some more.
Which
letters from
ironically
her.
means she could have roleplayed herself well.
Yep. Yep.
It's very sad.
You just
So-
set up a bed here.
Yeah, just a little chaise lounge.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and reintroduce who you are and the 2 characters that you're playing. Everybody has one main character that they're playing, and then a sort of secondary supporting character that they play that is slightly less important to the story, but still gets into a lot of trouble. So I'll have them each introduce both of those characters, and then we will jump right back into the next novel chapter of the second half of this cycle. Who wants to start this time?
I can go.
Go for it.
Hello, my name is Aria. You can find me on Twitter at Genki Soda, where I like to rant about lots of random things and geek out. I today am playing as my main character, Alexander Nego Allerton Pickering.
You really just went for that alliteration.
At least none of us can pronounce it.
Yeah, well, it's like an ancient name from the time of Nebuchadnezzar. I don't actually think anyone knows how it's said. It'd be weird. All right, anyway, Old Testament
I'm
references, because I'm cool. And he is a lovable, try-hard jock idiot. He's not, like, super stupid, but he's, like, pretty stupid.
His intelligences are in other areas.
Yes.
He is not a, like, if we went for the multiple intelligences theory, he definitely statted hard into some things and not
Yeah.
into others.
Yes. And my other character is Professor Esmeralda Ellis. She is just a force of intelligence and absent-mindedness, but mostly power, magical power. She doesn't have any idea, though. She's just like, I'm just doing my thing, studying, ha-ha. And everybody's like, the demigod of intelligence. She has no idea, basically. All right.
Hello, I am Cheryl Platz, aka Muppet Aphrodite on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, etc. And my primary character, I am she, her, as well as both of my characters. My primary character is Miss Persephone Finch, who is a tutor for the Alexander and his family with the hyphenated last name, Allerton Pickering family of
flashcards.
repute. I have not placed an adjective in front of that. They are of repute. And my secondary character is Letitia Elfin Wessex. She is shrouded in darkness and carries a dark parasol and is just generally mysterious. And she's Alexander's lady friend.
That was a very
So
dramatic
nervous.
noise.
Hello, I am Anna Geeks. I am a full-time variety broadcaster on my own channel, and you can find me just about anywhere as Anna Geeks, except Instagram, where I'm Anna Geeks AFK. Today, I am playing Faye Green, who is the young older sister of our dowager, who is not here today. And I am also playing the wonderful dowager who is not here today's bestie, Matilda Balfour. I think that's the one. And all of us use the feminine pronouns.
And I am a Random Tuesday. I will be your facilitator for this evening, which means I play a lot of characters on various sheets, including anyone else that we need to fill our world with. But I do also have my own main character. Yes, thank you for the reminder. I saw that earlier and I forgot about it, but I'm going to show it off now. I also have my own character, Jean Dubois. He is from France, and he is a person of mystery, but also of love. And he shows up every so often. I didn't show this off earlier, but I forgot, but it's beautiful. This is the dice, not a cage.
It's a house.
It's a care and feeding instructions.
Yes.
For dice. Oh, that's beautiful. And it comes with it has an extra lid just in case.
I know. I was extremely impressed. I went to Allie. Allie was in the kitchen when I opened it. I was like, look, he even included a little extra handle in case it broke.
It's a recovery room intended to provide an alternative to the dice jail, so that Claudia doesn't have to use the dice jail because she doesn't believe that dice jails work.
Yeah.
A softer and hopefully more comfortable place to relax and recover. It's beautiful. Thank you. It has.
It's so wonderful.
Little cute space.
Little heart-shaped.
Little heart-shaped
So
logo.
cute.
Here,
So
look.
good.
Put it on this camera.
It's out of focus. but
Yeah, well, we get the impression of it. I will pass
It's
this around
beautiful.
so you can all see it. And it's got windows, so they can breathe. It's a rehabilitation box.
It is. It's a recovery
Rehab
room. That's it.
This is amazing.
Padded.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, with that, however, we can put our resolve tokens in it if we feel like they need some recovery.
Yes.
Speaking of which, let us jump back into our next set of open scenes. I believe there was a request for a lesson scene. Do we want to
Yes.
start with that one?
We're in the
Persephone,
study.
You were in the study. Oh, you were
Yes.
at the Allerton Pickering estate.
Yes.
Excellent.
And I draw all the window shades.
You close them,
Yes.
so there's fewer distractions.
Yes.
That makes
Goodness.
sense.
Yes. And I leave instructions with the servants that we are not to be interrupted, particularly by any lady callers or male callers, just any callers at all.
Sorry, real quick. It was left-handed monkey wrench that sent this. Thank you.
Yes, of course. No one will interrupt you whatsoever.
So we cut into our lesson, just getting underway. I have been impressed by some of your charms work, and I wanted to show you what you might be able to achieve with a little bit more dedication. Were you to extend to your studies? As you know, I studied potions, and I thought we might start with a potion of strength. You find yourself in the athletic arts on a fairly regular basis, yes?
Well, they are against wizard ball regulation. They do test for that.
Well, then what sort of a potion do you think would interest you?
Let's see here.
Potion of restraint.
Yes, a willpower potion.
A willpower potion. So to give yourself greater willpower.
Yes, for my studies, so I don't get so distracted
Of course.
by temptations.
The
Yes.
temptations. Of course.
Yes.
So it is, of course, a myth that one needs an iron cauldron for this sort of work, although it certainly doesn't hurt. You can use any sort of vessel you like. And so she sort of arrays for him and walks him through some of the alkalins and it's a bit chemistry and a bit potion making. It's not always about the exact ingredients. It's about the reaction you're looking to get between the ingredients. Now, willpower, you want something with fortitude. You want something stronger than the individual parts. So something. The last willpower potion I made was almost goopy, if you will. So you're looking to do the best with the things you have around you to get to that sort of feeling. So what? She walks him through. She gives him an array of ingredients, and we do a little bit of experimentation. Like, which of these do you think would be a good starting point?
I'm nervous. He doesn't say that out loud, but that's basically something.
Well, why don't we start?
I want a monologue.
Okay. I'll take the
Standing in
monologue.
front of an array of
As he's standing there, what is going through his head?
Hammer and nails? That would probably give me the willpower to not touch anything and just hammer my hands down. But I don't have enough hands to do that. Only one of them would work. Oh goodness, I need to focus. Focus, get it together. Get it together. Okay, remind yourself. You can't just keep doing shitty things and then feeling guilty about it and think that makes it better. You actually have to do better. I need to do better. Now, focus. Focus. Oh my goodness, she's so impressive. Wow. God, no, what is happening? She asked me a question? Oh God, what was the question? This one.
What do you point at?
Just whatever's right there. Maybe dragon's tongue flower.
Yeah, it's a little
It's a
powdered
fine
dragon's tongue flower.
Mm-hmm.
Flower, yeah.
It's a fine start. It's certainly potent. And now, while you were thinking about that, I just to show you what's possible, I whipped up a little. This potion here is helpful to detect surrounding magics.
How long was he standing there for? You had time to make another potion.
Look, I don't know if you know, I have a master's in this.
You
And
still
I may or may
long
not have
time.
planned things a little bit. I brought my ingredient kit and just I'm gonna give him a moment. I'm just gonna do it. It's fine. So this potion, when you consume it, it helps you see the lines that surround you. Any magic that may have been cast, say your mother, maybe you cast a good luck charm, you'd be able to see that.
Oh, well, I want to respect her privacy. What if she cast something I shouldn't know about, like at Christmas? I know she cast it. I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Very well. I shall just leave this with you. It's a little round stopper little potion thing. I shall leave this with you so that you have it if you ever do come of me.
No. I don't want to be disrespectful. I can totally take it. It's just, if my mom, just help me make sure she's not mad at me.
If it's in pursuit of your studies, your mother will be pleased as punch.
Okay. So I just take it and I drink the whole thing?
Sure.
It's like 6 doses in there.
And so it's a little bitter. Also kind of tastes like cherry. It's nice. It's like good cough syrup for children to make it easier for them to drink. And then I feel it sort of come down through me, and I feel this like weird rumbling thing in my center, not like my stomach, just like inside of me. And I'm just like, it feels like someone's running down a hall in the dark. Throwing red shoes in the dark, whatever that would sound like. The sound of red high heels being thrown. That's what he's like, oh right. In the dark, yes.
Is he saying all of this out loud?
Yes. He's trying to process it. And he's just like, all right, something's happening. Okay, I feel like someone's getting closer. Wow, this is intense. Is there a chance someone's gonna burst out of me?
No. This is not the result I expected, but we can work with this. Are there any images aside from shoes flashing through your brain. Just take a deep breath, count to 5, and see what's in your mind's eye.
Okay, I see a cage placed around my head. Wow, what? Weird. How am I supposed to eat with a cage around my head? This will be very bad for protein powders. Ugh. Well, I could use a straw. Okay.
It sounds as if someone's bound your thoughts in some regard.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's like a dog cage. Maybe I offended somebody and they put me in a dog cage.
Perhaps a prank from one of your friends?
No, they wouldn't do that. Mm-mm. We don't do those kinds of things. No pranking. Potions and horses are off limits for pranking. You're not allowed to mess with the reins. You can't steal the saddles. Can't steal horses. Rude.
Well, we shall have to,
I'm just like sweating now profusely. And I'm gonna start taking off my shirt because I'm too hot. Gonna, like,
You are ripped, right?
Yeah,
like,
totally ripped.
Rippling
Just like,
abs.
oh my god.
Shimmering in the sweat and the like dim lamplight of this room because you closed all of the blinds.
Is it
so
hot in here?
It certainly is.
And monologue token.
for I think it's
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. What is he doing? This is not. He seems much younger than he looks when he does that. But what does he mean by a cage? It was just supposed to be a lighthearted. I'm sure his mother cast a spell of happiness and cages and red shoes. What is wrong? What shadowed pathways is he walking? What shadowy, sculpted pathways is he walking?
At that moment, I am spending a resolve token, and you were the one who didn't want anyone to be disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to spend a resolve token to have Lucian Frey, the dearest best friend of Alexander, come into the room at this time, despite the protestations. If you accept this, you will get the resolve token for Persephone. If not, you can reject it, or you can accept it with conditions.
The conditions are that there's probably the slightest bit of commotion, so there's a moment to compose ourselves.
Yes, that's fine.
There's I don't know, like 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, so what then can happen is, like, you hear something outside of the room, like you hear a servant going, "Oh, no, I'm sorry, okay, there's a problem." And then, "I need to see him, I'm here to see my best friend."
I just throw a blanket at him.
That makes it better or worse. So you can take a resolve token for Persephone. And
I think I probably had to use. Did I need to use a resolve token for the magic, or was it just normal magic? And I don't know.
I think probably, yeah, to make it happen. Yeah, because...
Okay, so it's net 0.
Yeah, and then I think our question then was, how does an unintended side effect return? So yeah, you spent the resolve token to make the magic happen, the potion. And we hear this commotion outside, the servant clearly trying to stop Lucian, and Lucian clearly trying to get in the room, and he then flies open the door, and he's like, "Alexander!"
And I just am like, yes, if anyone was gonna run at me in the dark, it should be you.
Yes! And he, like, runs towards you and embraces you, like, sweeps you. And I think Lucian is definitely larger than Alexander. Like, he's broad-shouldered, and maybe on Wizard Ball he's more of a defender, and he's less about speed and more about presence.
Yeah.
You can sort of see, like, his clothes are all a little bit too tight on him. He's beautifully chiseled, chiseled jawline. His hair perfectly sleeked back, but he's like stocky. Or probably maybe you would sort of imagine on, like, kind of the shorter side. Like, he's built a bit like more of a football player. And he like grabs you and, like, pulls you off of your feet and then drops you back down. He's like, "You're sweaty.
Yes.
Have you been practicing?"
Well, practicing something.
Potions, high temperature potions.
My dear lady, I am so sorry. I was very rude of me. And he, like, turns around and he offers his hand.
Oh,
and sort of
come.
bows to you.
Please, do stand.
So fine. Such a beautiful vision to see upon this day. It's very dark in here.
I find it's better for potion making. Helps us focus on the work.
Potions! Was that what you were doing in here?
Yes, I don't know, I drank some potion. I'm sorry. That was very strange. Maybe we should avoid that in the future, or at least warn me more next time.
Certainly wasn't. It was a more intense effect than I intended, but perhaps that is for the best.
Well, we should spend some time to talk about what I saw. I'm still very confused and maybe a little frightened.
Don't worry, I shall work on it, and we will meet again tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, you don't have to go. Would you like to stay for dinner?
You live here? How do you respond to that?
Whatever the young sir wants.
Right, Lucian, you're of course here for dinner, aren't you?
I'm here. I mean, I'll stay as long as you'll have me, and then I've got to go get settled in at the college. You know, we're starting in just a week.
Right. We are starting in a week. Yes. Well, you can stay here.
You're already getting ahead on your studies without me.
I'm sorry. Did you get my letters?
I did indeed get your letters. We should maybe go for a walk about the garden.
Yes,
Perhaps
that would
a
be lovely.
ride to clear the senses.
Yes, I think that would be most appropriate.
Standing.
But maybe I think I need to sit for a little bit first. Maybe have some tea. That potion I just took really did
Unsettled your stomach.
Yes.
Like when you get hit in the gut.
Yes, very, very similar. And also in the head, repeatedly.
You know, like that one time, and that
Yes.
other time you fell off the horse, and then the horse kicked you.
Right.
And then you kicked the horse back, and then the unicorns got involved, and it was quite dramatic.
Right, very much like that, but worse.
So while these two are recalling, the Persephone has opened up the windows. She's gathered up the potion-making materials. You two keep catching up. I will go speak with the servants and see about a round of tea brought over so you can refresh yourselves before your ride.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Of course. So I abscond into the hallway and go speak to the folks, servants, and then I take my potion making materials and abscond into a closet.
just hide in a closet.
Do
Or-
things.
Your room? Or no, a closet.
And it's just when inspiration strikes,
You just
you
gotta...
just need to do it. She's the visions. She's like, okay, I gotta do some work.
I mean, to be fair, back then closets were small rooms, so
Fair. Well, she's quite, lady?
She's my tutor. Yes.
Yeah, your tutor. No, just your tutor for tutoring of your brains.
Yes, my mother hired her to make sure that I would bring honor to the family name. And
How is the old dame?
unfortunately, she's quite sick right now. Otherwise, I'm sure she'd be here to greet you.
I do miss her so. I haven't seen her in so long.
And I think it would be obvious that Alexander is suddenly speaking a little bit more manly-like.
Oh, yes,
She's
of course.
present.
They're boys. They have to be men around each other.
I'm just feeling the pressure.
They just, like, keep escalating each other.
yeah. We just get gruffer.
Yeah. Yes. They just, like, knock over a table, like... So, how's the tutoring been going, you know?
Difficult. Very difficult. It's not...
And he sort of, like, I think leads you, and you head to the stables, maybe.
Yes.
To go attend to the unicorns.
It's not like Wizard Ball or any other sport where
I
we're
find
even,
very few things are.
or even fighting. These things, well, there's strategy and finesse to them. They're very clear. Who you are, what your role is, what you should be doing, where you should be. I find this much more difficult. There's a lot of...
But you've always been so personable, so sociable. Make such a good impression on everyone.
Right, well, apparently at Wizard College, that's not enough to get a good grade.
Why do you care so much about your grades?
Because my mother cares about it, basically. And I respect her, and I don't want to let her down. So I'm trying to be better.
Yes. You mentioned something. You were concerned
Yes. How do you deal with temptation? I recently had a very short issue, but
yeah, and he, like, turns around as you start talking about that again. He's right, that's what your letter was about, not something else. And he, like, starts petting the unicorn.
The unicorns or
They went
outside
to the
now?
stables,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, they went to the stables. It's just, he sees one, he's like, yes, my magic, no.
let me explain first.
Yes.
It was just, well, a good friend of mine who is quite beautiful and with whom I would like to pursue a romance, potentially, has a tendency to visit me without the presence of a chaperone, and sometimes a little unannounced. Not always without a chaperone, but recently I was in quite a sort of aroused state while I was practicing my fencing and kind of all worked up, and then she just appeared, and she looked so beautiful. And I find that the more I engage in these physical skills, the more I think of her. And I feel strange, as though something's come over me, and I was very tempted to hold her hand in that moment. But there was no chaperone there, and I had to really quickly remove myself from that situation, lest I besmirch her honor.
It could be quite a besmirching.
But running away is not our way. We don't
We stand and we face our struggles.
So what do you do in that?
Well, you steel your resolve, and you hold yourself strong in those moments, and then afterwards you go and you punch something, and you let off some steam. That's what I've done. Or I would do if I were to ever face such a temptation. Never happened to me. Really. And so this friend of yours is not your tutor, right? No. Not Lady
No,
Persephone. Who do I
I've
know
been
her? Have I
having
met her?
strange dreams. I think about Lady Persephone.
Oh,
But
right.
no, not
Dreams
like.
about her. Yes,
Not
of
like
course,
that.
her. Of course, they're dreams about her. Right.
But
That's the unicorn again.
not so much about her, but that I am her. I don't know quite what to make of that. Please don't tell anyone else.
Oh no, of course not. And he gets like close up to you. He's like, "We share a bond. You are the most important person to me in the world, Alexander. I would trust no one else with my life or my wizard ball fate than you. We're not just friends. We're teammates."
Yes.
Yes. Right. Yes. But this friend, it's not her. Do I know this friend? Have I met,
No.
have I met this
I would like to introduce
woman?
you.
Yes, woman.
She is quite spectacular. Really indescribable. She has a certain pull over me that I can't resist. Every time she is near, I find that
Yes, yeah, I know that feeling. Sorry. Yes.
I cannot think about anything other than her. That's very strange. Normally, I'm thinking about many things at the same time. Or it's very hard to stay thinking about one thing. But around Letitia, I can focus. Though she does ask a lot about Wizard Ball, that might be part of it. She's very good at conversation. I know I know I don't deserve her. But she likes me.
I think you could deserve anyone you wanted. You are an Allerton Pickering, and you are Alexander Allerton Pickering. Yes. That's the unicorn.
So, over back at the house, Persephone has,
In the closet.
in the closet has whipped up a batch of like a cleansing draft.
Oh.
She sensed some kind of pulse. She didn't know what it was, but the cage, it felt like some sort of sinister spell, and she would like to decrease its hold, whatever it is. It cannot be good. So, it's just a little quartz and some white wine and some vanilla and orange peel, it's almost nothing. It's easily, surreptitiously added to this evening's beverage. She reserves some portion for later.
Okay. I think at the time that you use it, that's when we'll do the resolve token, because that's when it would take effect. Okay, yeah, he's just in the darkness, like one tiny gas lamp, like mixing her magic. Yes.
So I would like to spend a resolve token here
Yes.
and have Lucian bring up the idea, both the idea that Persephone has perhaps fled scandal,
Okay.
and that somehow my family is involved.
Whoa.
Okay.
So would that be 2 resolve tokens?
Well, I think what you could do with this one, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to spend, let's start with the Persephone one and kind of see where that one goes. So let's spend
Okay.
the resolve token associated with the Persephone fleeing scandal.
So you would get that token.
Yep. Lucian will get it. I'll just put one of these on there. So Lucian will accept this token, and he sort of kind of pauses. You said she introduced herself. Your tutor,
Yes, Persephone.
Persephone Finch.
Yes, Miss Finch. Yes.
I've heard that name before.
Really?
Yes.
A tutor?
Well, she went to Excelsior, right?
I don't know.
Well, yes. You know, my family, we're involved in a lot of people's business. We're business people. That's our business. It's people. Yes, people. And I heard she fled here. She used to attend college here. She went to the College of Wizardry here and then disappeared off to Paris. And then she showed back up at Excelsior.
I had no idea.
Some sort of scandal.
I can't imagine. She's so serious. A scandal.
Yes, the Frey family and the Finch family haven't gotten along in years. That's why her name rang a bell.
Well, that is most disconcerting. And if you've heard about this, I'm sure many people have heard about this. Yes. Well, I will need to
Perhaps,
tell
and he kind of looks at you, she wants something else from your family. Maybe that's why someone with such a noble degree in potion making, a master, she is a master. Right?
Well, I mean, my
What else
understanding.
would she want to work with someone like, in this household?
My understanding is that while her skills are quite good, she does not have much money, and that's why she came to sort of build her
He leans in. Stop speaking.
name
Alexander,
up.
you have money.
What?
Your mother has money.
I mean, yes, and
You're Allerton Pickering. And
Yes.
I am not your friend because of your money. I am your friend because I am your friend. And I care about you deeply. But you have money. Someone might be after it.
I mean, they could just ask.
They would have to ask to marry you, and that's not a thing I think they can do. It's very difficult to ask that.
What? I don't understand. I'm sorry. I've lost you. I mean, if she needed money, she could just ask. I'm sure we could give her money.
Pay her.
Oh, and don't we pay her? Like,
Alex. Alex, I think she might be after your inheritance.
what? I have an inheritance? But my parents are still alive. Wait, did they die? Do I not know my mother is dead?
I'm sorry I brought it up. Let's ride the unicorns out of here and into the sunset like the manly men we are.
Wait, but I must check on my mother. Is she dead?
That'll show you. No riding for you.
But your father's dead, right?
Is he?
Lizzie, is he?
She's a dowager. That's
She's
how
a
you get to be a
dowager.
dowager.
She, my mother told me he just went away on a trip.
Oh no.
Literally bought a farm.
That he went on a trip, started
That's where all the unicorns come from.
You know what? You know what? I think Lucian panics. and like this crisis that Alexander's having, and he's just like, and then he just punches you. Punches him? Yeah, that's how he solves his problems. Then it's like, snap out of it, and decks you across the face.
So when he punches her, when he punches him, Persephone probably passes out in the house.
Oh, in the closet? Or
She was
just like walking down the
scuttled
hallway
back out of
and
the
then
closet. Just ka-chunk.
Just Alexander, boom, snap out of it. Everything's fine.
And it like knocks me back a little bit, and I'm just like, oh, thank you. You always know exactly what I need.
Sometimes you just need a good punch to the face from a
Yes.
friend.
Yes, I think everyone does. Yes. Well, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm,
and maybe like Naki like gives you a hand to like help you up from when he like pushed you down.
yes. And then we're still holding hands, and I'm like, thank you, friend. Thank you. You really, you've helped me.
Yes.
Well, someone would have told me if my parents were dead. I'm sure.
I'm sure they would have told you.
Let's just go for that ride.
Yes. Right. Onto the horses. This voice actually hurts, so I need to come up with a new voice. It's getting lower.
Do you want to end up like Lizzie?
I will.
Is how you end up like Lizzie.
This is how you get a case of cottonmouth. So the two of you get on your horses, and the rest of the ride passes mostly uneventfully. At some point, a servant will come find you, or actually, you know what? How about you are stopping by? The
Okay.
young Fae comes over for dinner. With her
Okay.
sister,
Sure.
to visit, perhaps
Yep.
to drop something off for her sister.
Okay.
I can spend a resolve token for this.
Sure, I'll
You
take
had-
that resolve
yeah,
token.
you
sure,
had a,
yeah.
You have a message to deliver
A resolve token.
from Lady Isabella Poppington, which is your patron, wanted you to deliver a poultice for,
Excellent.
it's a specific, it's for the Fae.
Mhm.
But she kind of gives you it to you, like, with this knowing, like, it's for your family.
For my sister, yes, of course.
No. For your family. It's a special remedy.
Thank you. Kindly.
It's like liquid in a bottle, like it glows
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
got a piece of moon in it. So she gives
Yeah.
you that. So you take the resolve token
Okay.
to deliver it to your sister. And as you are there, you're walking up to the room. The servants just sort of let you. You see, passed out in the middle of the floor, in the hallway, surrounded by a clattering of potions and ingredients, the young Miss Persephone Finch.
Oh, goodness. Miss Finch. Miss Finch.
Oh, Miss Faye, I'm so sorry.
She starts doing, like healthy detecting magics, like to make sure that you're okay.
I don't know what came over me. It was as if I was hit in the face.
Goodness. But you were just
In the hallway,
in
yes.
the hallway.
I wonder if young Alexander's all right.
And now she's like doing sweeping motions looking for like poltergeists and things. Alexander punched you in the face?
No.
I don't.
I was idly wondering whether he was fine. He's out with a friend of his, Lucian, I think. It's going to be a grand dinner. You should come. Apparently, it's. Yes.
Of course. Then she hands the poultice off. Please take this to my sister.
And I
And
that
no
for a
one
second,
else. And then to another servant, "But tea for us, please." Very at
Leads
home
you off
in
into
this
like
house.
the library, probably.
Yeah. Ooh, yes.
different than the study.
Library.
You're at
There's
home
a study and then the
yeah,
library.
there's a study and the library.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rooms in this manor.
Are you quite sure you're okay?
Yes, I appreciate your concern. It was to.
Healing magic is my specialty.
I will certainly let you know if I need it. But
Okay.
really, I'm more glad of your company than the healing at this moment.
Oh, that's kind of you to say. We haven't been able to spend much time since you came to my sister's manor.
It's true, and we have a common love of the academic arts.
We do. I think actually, Gibson, my familiar, saw you in the library a few days ago.
Ah, yes. A dear friend of mine is a librarian. It does my heart well to be reunited with her.
And I mean, I don't know, I don't mean to speak for you, but I certainly can't stay away from libraries.
Well, then you have good taste, my dear.
Thank you.
Speaking of having good taste, I would like to use a resolve token from the rumor and the scandal to talk about the headmaster.
Being a drunkard and a philanderer, or
Yeah.
the womanizer?
At least one.
Okay, pick your preference.
I'll take the womanizer
All right.
one. How many dealings have you had with the headmaster of the College of Wizardry? That is your chosen place of study, of course. Yes?
It is, yes. Not terribly many. I've only been there. This is only my second year that I'll be attending the college. So I haven't had many interactions with him myself.
That is a blessing, and one that you should endeavor to continue as long as possible.
Is it?
Yes.
Is there? But I aim to do very well in my studies. I don't.
It pains me to tarnish your perception of anyone in such a grand institution, but it has been my direct experience that the doctor does not have many boundaries when it comes to his students of a feminine persuasion.
Oh my. I don't have a fan.
He just
Sorry.
summons a fan.
Yeah.
It is all but undetectable in normal social circles because he speaks well of female students, but I have found that
Man of his
if you have the unlucky circumstance to end up in a chamber alone with him, he does not.
Say no more. Say no more. I understand perfectly how someone could have been elevated to his position under such circumstances. Completely escapes me. It's absolutely unheard of. Terrible, terrible.
But it does my heart well to understand that you are proficient at your studies and have your wits about you, so that if such a thing should come to pass, you can defend yourself, as I did.
Yes. As you yourself. Goodness.
It was always my intent to continue my studies here. But after at the conclusion of my bachelor's, I, as you know, left for Excelsior. That was not originally the plan.
Oh goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. This is terrible. Does the collegiate board know? You of course you told them.
I have no proof. I think one must be careful when pursuing this path. But have no fear. Wheels are in motion to set things to rights.
Well, now we've got a rumor. Goodness, this is.
I'm so sorry to
Quite
have
a lot
vexed
to
your
take
heart.
in.
I felt it was fate that drew us together. That I should, and I apologize for being so forward and imposing upon you, and having barely known you. But I see a kindred spirit.
I do believe that the women such as ourselves should stick together. That absolutely, yes. Goodness.
And should you ever need assistance in that regard, please do.
I do appreciate that. Thank you. I find myself for the first time questioning my goals of well, I had hoped to be head girl upon graduation and continue my studies and perhaps even become a professor at some point. And it's quite a lot to take in.
There
sure
is
you
much
understand.
time before that eventuality.
This
All
is
I
true.
seek is that you go in with eyes wide open.
Thank you.
And if you have a third eye, keep that one open as well.
No, I do not.
Okay. One never knows. One never knows.
That is very true. That is very true.
But you should pursue those dreams fervently.
Thank you. Let us talk of lighter things. How are you finding your stay at my young sister's?
Sparkly. One good. Yes. So sparkly. Your nephew is.
We see out the window two strapping young men riding unicorns, glistening pectorals.
Faint sparkling
Yeah.
rainbows trailing behind the unicorns.
It's.
Man.
Stories of your nephew had come, making me believe that perhaps he was uninitiated in the magical arts, but his proficiency at charms and other things is non-negligible.
I think perhaps you're doing him more service than he maybe due, but you honor your post in doing so.
That was kind of you to say. Should any Frenchmen stop by, feel free to send them away.
Frenchman?
I just don't want them to disturb the sanctity of this home. They can leave a card, and I shall
I wanna send it
address
us
that.
all. I'm just gonna say at that time we all come back and and John is with us. We found him.
Oh, you found him?
And we asked him to come for a ride and then to come home with us for dinner.
So I will, Jean will 100% accept this resolve token. He is also out for a ride. He does not ride, a unicorn.
What is that sound?
Nor does he, I think nor does he ride a horse. And I'm like, what would he ride? Like, what is probably...
My immediate thought of course, went to Harry Potter and the I think they were called the Thestrals, which were like invisible undead horses. So he'd be riding an invisible horse, basically.
Probably not that.
What about a sphinx?
That is, I doubt a sphinx would let you ride them.
Yeah,
He
we-
is riding, I like that. He's riding a stag.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
just beautifully antlered, just
Yep.
on it.
Nice.
There's no reins or anything. He's just riding it.
Yeah.
So he will accept your resolve token.
He's riding it as though resting upon a chaise lounge with his arm on the antlers.
So we can cut, and he would be like, "Oh, yeah, happily come to visit with you." And so you go back and stay with the horses, and you hear this chatter outside of the library of these. Great, I guess we two characters in one scene.
And we are all getting along swimmingly.
Oh, so well. Just as you say this.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old friend, and I do not wish to impose upon the household.
Of course. Of course, this is not my house. This is my sister's. So I don't mean to presume, but I suppose I could do that. Yes. Turn him away. I can do that.
I mean not to impose upon you. You may do whatever you wish, but do not feel required to extend any undue hospitality on my behalf.
I think it's slowly dawning on her, making connection between the professor conversation and the Frenchman conversation. Oh. So she's drawing lines where there aren't any.
Good.
Yes.
I feel like at this point people would hear us coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming in as a giant horde.
I mean, they don't ride the horses into the
Don't
house.
they?
I
Don't
mean,
No, we're just boisterous. You would definitely hear a very clear French accent because we're being very loud. Got each other all riled up.
Never mind about that.
we shall see. And so we
They just
hear
sort of
voices,
burst
or
in
we
and-
hear, like.
You hear voices. Yeah, there are
Okay.
people somewhere else in the house.
I mean, let's face it, they're not coming into the library.
No.
I shall take my leave now so that you may continue upon your day, but thank you for your kindness, and
Of course, you're feeling quite better.
certainly, no one's hit me in the metaphorical face in a few moments, so I'm fine.
Excellent. And then we leave the library as they're walking down
Yeah.
the hallway.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bonjour!
Ah, mon petit joujou.
It's so good to see you here. He sort of will. Who is this lovely friend of yours?
I am the older sister of the lady of the house, and who are you, sir, to come traipsing in down
he is
these
my
halls?
new friend. No
unannounced?
traipsing.
Alexander, you should know better.
We
Your
have a new
mother
guest in
is
town.
resting and unwell, and here you are boisterously strutting through the halls with unannounced gentlemen.
Well, he has promised to give me lessons in stag writing. So this is for my studies,
Oh,
and I have
has
been
he?
told that no one will get mad at me if it's for my studies.
I am so sorry. I did not mean to intrude upon this house. I simply met the young master here, out in the woods, riding my stag as he was riding his unicorn, and I was quite enchanted by his good looks and the horses too.
I'm sure you were.
Jean, you may find that he needs very little training in those arts. He's quite accomplished.
Yes, certainly. I am sorry, we did not get formally introduced. My name is Jean Dubois. I am from the Dubois region in France, as you can tell by my accent. But I have recently been traveling around the world, and I came here to visit one of my oldest and dearest friends, Lady Finch. I will take my leave upon your house, but I was invited by the young gentleman. You said this was your older sister's house?
My younger sister,
Oh,
if you must
but it is not
know.
yours.
No, it is not. Yet, my younger sister is unwell at the moment, and as such, I think you should respect that. And if you are going to have a boisterous party, you should at least do it in the garden.
Oh, speaking of parties, we're having one soon. Would you like to come?
How could I say no to such an enthusiastic invitation?
Wonderful.
And to spending more
wonderful.
time with some of my dearest friends. I would take my leave of your beautiful abode. Perhaps we should meet up another time.
Yes, I would love that. I would love that. Maybe we can go snake wrestling. There's some giant snakes out in the woods.
And you know, I had heard there may be a dragon nest out in those woods as well. I saw a fire the other day.
We should just have a regular old hunt.
I think we have disturbed the sanctity of the home long enough, don't you think, Alexander? Your mother certainly needs rest.
She has very good charms around her room to make sure she does not hear me. I know. I don't think we have to worry about it.
Persephone,
Jean.
my lady. My most sincere apologies for disturbing the peace in your home. It is a lovely place. You have done such wonderful things with it. Perhaps I will see you here another time.
Perhaps.
And he bows deeply to all of you, and then saunters out, and you look outside, and you just see, yeah, there's just like a stag. It's not even tethered. It's just there. Just like chilling, munching on some shrubbery. And he like leaps up onto it and it gallops away down the driveway, down the path.
I think I heard a dinner bell.
Really?
Yes,
Well.
quite certain.
Food is always great.
So I would like to spend that resolve token to
Yes, to make the magics
make
happen.
the magics happen. For
Would
the
you like
cleansing
it
draft.
to happen with or without potential consequences?
I want to use a resolve token.
Okay, so you're going to spend the resolve
got a
token.
few.
Awesome. So pay the resolve token. Do you accept? Because you are the target of the magic, and the intention behind this magic is.
The intention is to protect Alexander the next time someone tries to control him in a negative fashion.
You know what my favorite part is?
What?
Persephone is just blocking Letitia. Like, you're screwing with yourself.
Yep.
It's just two separate characters.
Oh yeah, I don't even see it that way. I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Future Cheryl can deal with that. Do you accept this this resolve token?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would
So you actually get the token. So you get a token for your character. And then you, as the target, can choose one of the questions. Show me when you work your magic, either who helps you, how does a faction take an interest, how does an unintended side effect occur, or what does the magic demand from you? So some sort of question, and then Cheryl will answer it as Persephone and describe it.
How would it affect my perception of things? Like if I see Letitia again, what would that it impact how I see her?
Well, so it's one of these questions.
Okay. So
There's 4
can
on
you
the
repeat
list.
them?
Yeah, they're right there. This one.
Oh, right. Okay, it's the same one. Sorry. Yeah. What does the magic demand of me? Basically, of
Or
me,
me.
right?
It'd be of you. Yeah.
Okay.
The magic makes me promise to put to choose his well-being over my own.
So we kind of see kind of that intention, like we have a little flashback to in the closet making this potion, like sort of putting some of your own benefit into it or sacrificing a little bit of yourself.
It means that if something does happen to him, I will be more compelled to deal with it above any other
Deepens the
negative.
ties. You feel like
Which feels messy.
a little bit of a tug.
Yeah.
Okay. You slip it into his drink as all of you sit down for dinner. Maybe for when you drink it, there's like a warmth that washes over you, like being hugged or being wrapped in a blanket.
It will also occur as I'm looking at Lucian, because he stayed for dinner.
Oh, of course.
And so, like, I will feel this extreme warmth and, like, happiness and sense of safety while I'm looking at
He like
Lucian.
sloshes some wine.
And I'm just gonna be like, yeah.
Does anyone say or do anything over dinner? If not, we can.
I monologue token at thee.
Oh,
Or like, what your thoughts? Because you're at dinner with us, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is happening in your mind as all of these things have transpired this evening?
Goodness. She is probably very, very conflicted about acting as the lady of the house in not being so. Like, I don't think I have an actual monologue right now because we're not in a scene where I can give anything specific, but she's very conflicted. She very much feels that she overstepped her place, but felt the need to. She made that connection, had Master to send Frenchmen away, and but she felt like she had to stand up for what's right, but that wasn't the right thing at the same time that it was the right thing, and she doesn't know what to make of that, and so she feels kind of guilty about that, but also probably somewhat annoyed by the antics of Alexander and Lucian, who are, manly men when she's trying to have a sophisticated evening with pleasant, nerdy company. So I think that's the best I can get. But
Okay.
You could get a mini monologue later, maybe, when we're more in scene.
So dinner will be concluded, and you all. I think Lucian will return. He's probably staying with his family.
Yeah.
They're also from around. I guess they would be from slightly farther away because
Yeah.
that's why you went to like. Do you think you went to like a boarding school?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you came from different places. So he's probably already staying at the school dorms or something that's set up for him. He said, "It was so good to see you."
Yes. I'm so sad you have to go.
Well, I'm here. We're going to the same school, and I made sure my family pulled some strings. We're sharing a room.
That's the best news I've ever heard. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I to be honest, I don't remember.
Well, I'll see you at the party.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Yeah.
As we're all taking our leaves and heading up to our rooms, I encounter you coming back after bidding farewell to your friend, and I've had Persephone's had perhaps one too many cognacs this evening, and she just kind of easily turns. She says, "How's your face?"
My face? And I just like whip out the mirror and I'm like, is something wrong?
He got hit in the face.
Yes.
How did the hit land? It doesn't look like you were hit.
Well, I'm very good at healing. I heal very fast.
Right. Good night.
What? Are you okay?
I'll be fine.
Oh, I do want to apologize for leaving class so early. I understand that was rude. I should have stayed longer. You were trying to teach me something. And I'm sorry I didn't have the fortitude to resist the effect of that potion.
You have all the fortitude you need. But the people all around you don't have your best interest at heart.
What? I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that sort of statement.
I'm sorry. I'm being too forward. Friends who injure you, I don't understand it.
Well, it's a manly thing. Men being manly. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels right.
Well, as long as it feels right to you. You're capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. And she goes up the stairs.
I'm a little offended, but I'm not sure. And I'm like, I say out to myself, but from your tone, I'm sure that was very smart. But I don't know what it means.
Does maybe Lucian offer to escort Faye
Probably.
back to her home
Yeah.
on the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I figured they'd probably possibly have some very interesting.
Yeah, if he
interactions.
wants to. I mean, he would be like, and he's like, got a carriage there. He's like, oh, do you need a ride? You don't appear to have one.
Oh, thank you. Yes, please. That would be actually quite nice of you.
Please, come on in. Where are you staying? Poppington.
The Lady Poppington's estate.
Oh, right. Of course. That would make sense. I think. Maybe.
She's a friend of my father.
Right. Don't think I've met your father.
You wouldn't have.
Probably not. He must be very old and probably dead.
No, but not often around.
Oh. I'm sorry. Or I'm not sorry. Should I be sorry?
I don't believe so. No. Not for that anyway. Is there something else you should be sorry for?
No, I don't think so. I feel like I'm supposed to be sorry for something.
Oh, okay. Then perhaps you should.
What is happening?
Who's on first?
Just sort of. So he's like, well,
Perhaps
wait, are
then
you
were.
Lucian's? You're not Alexander's sister.
No.
You were,
I am Alexander's aunt.
but you were so young.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Right. Right.
Can I do a monologue to resolution?
There's one monologue token that's got to be spent. I'm just
I
saying.
think it's supposed to be for main characters.
Okay.
Yeah, but we only have 3, so
I-
otherwise she
I'm
doesn't get
sorry.
to spend one, and you got to spend one earlier.
Jean is a main character.
Darn.
He sort of kind of pauses and he thinks about it. He's like, so you're the older, younger sister.
Yes.
That makes sense, I suppose. Fey ancestry?
A bit, yes. We don't like to talk about it so much.
Why not? It's normal around these parts.
It's frowned upon, at least where my family was.
Oh, that's why you moved here.
In part, yes. And of course the college. Attending the college was very important to me, and my father contacted Lady Poppington, and she was kind enough to give me somewhere to stay while I attend the college. So, yes. If you must know, then Felicity is my younger sister. Our father is from the Fae, and I spent some time there when our parents moved back there, and time isn't quite as linear as it is here, and so it doesn't flow the same.
Oh, that makes sense. So she aged and you didn't age, and that's why you're the same age but still the aunt, and your parents are still alive and not so old, because I was assuming they would have been dead, because she's, basically very old mother.
Practically
37,
dead,
practically
yes.
dead.
My dear sister.
Yes. I mean, my mother's only 35. She's very young.
Quite.
Very progressive of him.
Yeah. Well, thank you kindly for both the carriage ride and presumably your discretion about this.
Oh, of course not.
should
You
have-
do know people will probably figure it out if you're staying with the Poppingtons. She has a portal to the Fae in her backyard. We use it for shipping all the time because the Fae family is business people.
Yes,
Businesses
of
are people, and people are our business.
Oh no, he's a slave trader.
Oh God! No!
That's
I feel like I shouldn't have said it that way. I don't really. He like leans in. He's like, I don't actually know what my parents do. I'm
Nice.
hoping that I can make a lucrative career in Wizard Ball because I don't have a lot of other skills.
When the pure Fae are involved, humans seldom know what is going on, really. You shouldn't feel too badly about that.
Right. I understand where Alexander's coming from and that pressure from your family to do so. But thankfully, I am not the only child, so their name's already taken care of. I've got like 7 older sisters. My mother's very young for that. Half sisters, maybe.
yeah. Kids every
It's
9
fine.
months or
Yeah.
something.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm bad with math and numbers, and I
mean,
think
if she popped one out a year, then
Yeah, I think, I just... Well, he's got the whole inheritance, and you don't think that Miss Finch is here for something else, do you? I'm worried. He's so eligible and attractive. Maybe she's just trying to get his insurance from him.
Sure.
Yes.
His inheritance.
I mean, if he's got good health insurance, that's
Yeah.
pretty compelling.
Yeah.
As
You see him when he says eligible and attractive. He's like, yes,
As a general rule,
Right?
I think it is best to take people at their face value. I believe that you should always assume the best of someone, because
yes, of course.
wouldn't you want them to do the same for you? So, no, I do not think that she has ulterior motives. I think she is here to be a tutor. She is a very, very scholarly young woman and quite well studied, and will be an excellent tutor, and already is an excellent tutor for young Alexander. He's already doing better in charms, and the school year hasn't even started yet.
What? Good. Good. You can see, he's very pleased when you say all this. He's like, oh, in which case, then nothing to worry about with her. Whatever scandal it is, she's probably fleeing. Not an important thing at all. And Alexander, she shouldn't worry about anything that I said to him because it's clearly not important. And you're his aunt, so it's not like you and him could. Anyway, you're here.
And she's totally lost in thought. She's like, didn't hear any of that. And she's like, and yet I feel a growing worry in my heart. You were good friends with Alexander. Do look out for him. Not from Persephone. From Letitia. I do not trust her.
Is that his friend?
I believe so.
He like leans in conspiratorially as like as he's about to like get out of the couch, and he's like, I will defend Alexander with my life and limb, with my mind and my body and my soul and every ounce of wizard ball magic I possess. And if Letitia,
Wizard ball magic.
if this Letitia has anything bad planned for him, I will destroy her irrevocably.
That is good to
Because
hear.
he's my friend.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Friends. Friends.
Your friend. Of
Very
course.
friendly.
Yes.
Manly friends.
Keep your eyes open. It is good. I feel I can trust you in this. Keep your eyes open. Let me know if you see anything suspicious. Please. And thank you again for the carriage ride. Have a delightful night, sir.
You as well. Good evening. He rides away.
The attendants are watching this whole exchange being like,
Yep.
And I can just like
Nobility.
sense people saying nice things about me, so I feel
Yeah.
a surge of confidence and
Yeah.
like happiness, and it's like, yes,
Yeah.
this will be a great party.
All right. Are there any last scenes or things that anyone wanted to do?
I can save mine till next time since we're
Okay.
waiting.
Yeah, I'm like we're approaching the end, so let's get through our last two sections as we do our ending, and I will write down any scenes that we're going to have for next week. So next we have our reputation. So go ahead and go over your reputation, determine whether or not it went up or down.
aw. Lizzie has nothing for letters this time.
No letters,
No
Lizzie.
letters.
It's fine.
I feel like my reputation may have gone up because I acted in obedience to society's conventions instead of just bursting out at Jean for injecting himself into the household. I held my tongue and kept things generally polite.
Yeah, I would agree. What is your positive tag?
That's a tricky one. I won't take that one yet. I'll go with. Oh, I already took clever. I'll take a novel. Take a novel.
Okay, novel. All right. Anyone else think their reputation went up or down? No, they're the same.
I mean, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I mean, in some ways, I allowed someone of a lesser rank to talk down to me or treat me as an inferior, but it was a private conversation with Persephone, where she was just like, "You shouldn't do this," and I'm like, "How dare you tell me what to do?" But it was a private conversation.
I think it's up to you.
Yeah, maybe I would say it doesn't count.
Okay, that's fine. I'm tempted to say Jean got one, but I don't think it was quite that bad. Acted in contravention to society's conventions because he was invited in,
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't like he just barged in this time, even though you told him to leave. So, okay. So in that case, your reputation went up, and you are part of the College of Wizards.
That's correct.
Which means that as the only person, nothing went down, so College of Wizards goes up again.
Through the ceiling.
It's 4
Should be
now.
illegal.
Should be illegal. Hey, they're doing great.
Mm-hmm.
They're just super popular right now. Cool. So that's our reputation phase, and now our epistolary. Our epistolary, the final letter writing section. Does anyone have any letters they would like to pen to anyone or from anyone?
I will write one from Miss Geraldine Stone to the Dowager lady.
Oh, good. Yes.
Dear lady, such and such. Those Wizard Colleges people came by my house the other day and they absconded with me wand. It should be illegal, but they told me I should be illegal. We need to do something about it. Razzafrazzum, etc. Yours, Geraldine Stone.
Thank you. Oh, Geraldine.
So good.
Any other letters?
I'm gonna write.
Thanks.
I got 2 letters I want to
Okay,
write. One's just
do
a
it.
note from Alexander to Lucian that just is just like, it was lovely to see you finally. I had a most wonderful time, and I look forward to us beginning our studies together and getting to spend all of our time together. I would like that very much. Though I did have a very interesting conversation with Miss Finch, in which she gave me a strange warning. And I don't really remember all the words, but essentially what I felt was like, fool me once, shame on me, teach a man to fool me, and he'll fool me forever. And what do you think that means? I'm so confused. Do you think she likes you? I got the impression she was into you a little bit. I can find out if you want. And it just continues to ramble about some other things. Very disjointed, and then I send it off.
I think we see Lucian, like, reading it, and like, there's, like, a moment of, like, huh, and then, and then, and then just, like, it's just a whole sequence.
Yes.
Oh, Lucian. I think he sends you back just a, like, this time it's much quicker. You'll get a response, and it just says, perhaps we should spend some time together. What was his voice again? Perhaps we should spend some time together before the festivities that you invited me to. Just the 2 of us, like old times. And maybe I can help you with some of your concerns. Yours, and then it's like the several times the word that he would use is scratched out, and it's just his name, Lucian.
Nice. I'm very excited.
I
would have one more letter I would write.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if Gregor Fitzwilliam was gonna have a in-person conversation with someone. I think it'll be. I'll save that for. I think he could probably do it as a letter. Nah, we'll wait. I'll do it in person. Everyone cover all of their letters? You got one more?
Yeah. So Professor Esmeralda Ellis is going to write a letter to the Inquisitor General that is also the same as the letter she's going to send to the like contemporary she wrote before, and to the headmaster. And it has an open upon. So open upon, and it's going to be tied to a sense for me, great distress. So like they won't be able to open it unless I'm in a state of great distress, essentially. And I am going to update them about all my research. It's got a lot of very complicated charts and figures and some historical documents that I found and some information about an old kingdom that fell that was also the name Wessex. So it was just the family that had been there a long time ago, like maybe the 800s. And I'm very convinced that there was an old magic machination they had been working on, and that it had to have sat for hundreds of years, and now it is finally ready to come out. And I'm quite sure of this, that I've like deciphered the code of what these runes mean, and I'm going into the woods to try to fix it, taking my griffin with me. And if I do not return the great distress sort of situation, then I'm explaining to them what's happening, what I think they need to do to stop it, and how they might rescue me. But that's sort of like a PS, this is how you could rescue me too. Not that concerned by it. Mostly I'm just excited for all of the primary research I'll get to do.
So I think for interesting to tie it kind of in, Professor Hugh Lamington, the uncle of Persephone Finch, was one of the premier academics that you sent your research to. He is a specialist in, I think we talked about he being a specialist in animals. And so you messaged him, right? Because it could be, it was woodland related. And he goes back and he's like, well, I've cross-checked. And this comes, I think, after she has already gone into the woods. And so we just see this like letter and we as the audience can read it. And it says, Dear Professor Ellis, it was lovely to hear from you. I haven't heard from you in a while. Perhaps we should meet up sometime. I know you haven't. And it's like all of the first bit is sort of very familiar and very much like they attended school together. Like, about the concerning runes that you sent to me, I pass them along to certain colleagues. I can't tell you that it's related to any specific magical creatures, although these runes do seem to be quite clearly tied to a clan of vampires known as the Wessex clan. I'm sure you've heard of them. They are Old Kingdom, probably wiped out a long time ago, and I think it may also be related to some sort of summoning. But I'm sure it's fine. Alternatively, you could try this lovely tea I had recommended to me. It's supposed to be excellent for your sleep. Sincerely, Professor Hugh Lamington.
So helpful with these recommendations.
So we'll just say this letter comes in on her desk.
Yep.
And on her desk there's still all of the stuff.
Yep.
And you just see Behemoth written on a paper. Like that was her last note and before she left in a hurry.
I have one more letter to write. Yes. Persephone forges a letter. So I assume that the headmaster was not invited to the party.
Oh, I assume not, yes.
Persephone is going to forge a letter in the lady's handwriting, informing him of the party and making a request for him to attend so they can mend old spats and find some common understanding.
I would say this one probably needs to be a resolve token negotiation. Lizzie, will you accept, you're in chat, so will you accept this resolve token to allow this letter to
She
read?
says, I accept this token
Great.
in all cash.
Yeah, she accepts the token. Done.
Nice.
He receives this letter and he's like, I like a good party.
I thought he might.
Faye would like to write a letter to her father. And she starts it off by saying, Dearest father, it has only been a week in my time, so I know you have only just received the last message that I sent you. However, exciting things have been scratched out. Interesting things have been unfolding here, and I seek your counsel. And then she just includes all of the stuff that she has about the runes and how she was, doing some extracurricular to try and get ahead in her studies before the school year started, et cetera, hoping that he will send back any information that he has, since he's pretty much immortal himself and has been around a really long time. But he's pretty flighty, so probably not gonna get a reply.
Just doesn't get it in time.
Yeah, like she'll get it.
Yeah, like
as soon as we're wrapping Siege.
Yeah,
the
like
letter
6
will
months
come.
later, she'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's terrible. These runes are related to the Wessex clan. They're Wessex vampire clan runes,
Yeah.
and they relate to the summoning of a behemoth."
Okay, great. And of course, she does the customary folding it up in leaves and magics it into a little boat and sends it off in the water.
Excellent.
Even though apparently there's a portal in the backyard. It's fine. That's a shipping portal. You don't send letters there.
No.
That would be ridiculous.
Well, it sends it to one location in
Yeah.
the Fae, so you'd still have to, you can send it directly to
Yeah.
him. That would just take longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, all right, that's it. That's all our letters. So our upkeep, did everybody use their monologue token?
Yes.
Okay, so you will refresh your
Yes.
monologue token. Oh,
I did not use
Oh,
it.
Because we didn't.
well, technically, it's Jean.
Because
Jean has not monologued.
Jean
Yeah.
has not monologued.
Yeah. Well, let's just say he monologues after.
Yeah, no, let's
getting
give us
sent
a monologue.
I will. So he's sent home. So we see Jean riding his stag into the darkness. Persephone, how I miss her. Perhaps this is the greatest mistake I have ever made in my life. To have left her in Paris, alone. But I had to go. I had urgent things that I needed to do across the globe. But it's not the same. These responsibilities that I have, they are separate from the responsibilities of the art. And my art told me I should have stayed with her, but my duty told me I needed to leave. But now I have returned. And she wants nothing of me. If only I can convince her that I have changed. I am not the same Jean that disappeared. I am the Jean that has returned for her. But she does not believe it. She thinks that I am here for some nefarious purpose. Oh, my heart is breaking. Perhaps I can convince her. And if not, perhaps that young Alexander or Lucian, they are quite attractive as well. Who knows? The heart wants what it wants. And it wants Persephone. Yeah, there we go. That's it. So everyone will refresh. You start with another monologue token next week. Refresh. Infiltrator increases bonus tokens. So each of you will receive one resolve token, and we're not playing with any of the other stuff. So go ahead and take one more resolve token for next session.
And you've got a bonus one, Lizzie, when you come back, because you took
Yes.
one. So I put
Sitting
one on
here
your
to
paper.
remind.
And make sure, I need to grab one for my monologue token, to have your tokens. And yes, that is going to conclude this cycle. We have one more cycle next week, which means we will not. Oh no.
What?
We don't have any more rumors and scandals.
What?
We'll skip it in the last cycle.
No. No.
That's okay. We still have like a
We have a
butt
lot.
ton we
We have a
haven't
lot to work
used.
with.
So
I think we don't need any more.
Yeah, we've got a lot to work with. But that's okay. And then we'll have an epilogue. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. We'll do some quick announcements of where and when you can find us on next. And then we will see you next week for our final episode of this lovely arc. Because I am French and British, and like I actually kind of hurt my throat. I need to drink some water. Turns out Lucian's voice was not good for me. So let's start over here. Who are you? Where can you be found?
Hello, I'm Anna Geeks. I'm a full-time variety broadcaster. You can find me here on Twitch at Anna Geeks, and on Twitter as Anna Geeks, and Instagram as Anna Geeks AFK. I'll be streaming on my channel tomorrow, but I want to say that next week at 5 o'clock before this final episode, we will do a wind down. I know I said that last week. We're definitely doing it this coming week because it's the last show. So we will definitely do wind down 5 o'clock next week, Thursday next week, and then I'll do a whole bunch of streams between now and then. So yeah, that's me.
Hello, everyone. I have been Cheryl Platts, aka Muppet Aphrodite, on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, etc. During the day, I am a user experience designer for a large nonprofit nearby, and also with my own company doing design talks around the world. My next keynote is in Scotland in June, so you can look that stuff up at ideaplats.com if you're curious.
It's very impressive. Hello, my name is Aria. You can find me on Twitter at Genki Soda. I like to talk about all kinds of things. Sometimes I just post interesting stuff. Sometimes I rant about nerdy things. Sometimes, I don't know, I think I yell. I don't remember what I do. Memes. There we go. In my day job, I teach intercultural and interpersonal communication skills, and I am also a consent educator and advocate. I get hired for big events, teach at big tech companies to improve productivity through consent. That's my life.
I am Random Tuesday. I have been your facilitator. You can find me all the places at Random Tuesday. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, cosplay, goodness, RPGs, streams, all of that stuff. And then, of course, next week I will be here with our last episode of Third Time's the Charm, through a 3-part miniseries. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been an absolute delight. In the meantime, go check out Storybrewers Kickstarter, and you too can acquire the goodness that is the Good Society RPG. We'll see you all next week.